Good afternoon, everyone, and this is Just Because Chat number 3, and this is the Happy St. Patrick's Day. I guess we'll call it the edition. So, the weather is absolutely horrible here. It's been raining all day. It's cold. Wind is bad, and I've got a million things that I need to go film at the gun range, but I'm not going to do it in this weather. So, I'm going to sit here and drink a beer and chat with everybody. And I've got Gizzard Gary on the panel. What is going on, Gary?
I'm just sitting here chilling. It's 43 degrees outside. It's bright and sunny right now, as opposed to yesterday when it was really cloudy and rainy. It's nice outside, but it's just cold. And trying to think of things to get together for the show tonight, and getting some other stuff done, and whatever retired people do.
Hey, you worked long enough. You deserve it.
Thank you.
I've got so much stuff. I've been filming installs and stuff here at the house, and now it's like, okay, now you got to get it all out to the range and test it out. I just haven't been able to, with work and the weather. It's been hard. And my wife's birthday is tomorrow, so tomorrow's shot. So maybe Sunday I'll actually be able to get to the range, hopefully. So let's see who all's out here. GGW Outdoors was first in. Anne Marie was just stopping by to say hi and hit the thumbs up. She's got company. MC is out there. Jason Stewart is out there. Gary's out there and on the panel. Jason Stewart, if you want to come on, there is a link pinned at the top. Actually, everybody's welcome to come on. Michael Dunn is out there. G-Webs is here. Sonny Guns is out there. Gene from Reloading from the Hot Pot. Michael Hurtnick and Floridian. Every time I do one of these, everybody seems to come piling in the side chat, so that's cool. Razor JB has joined us. Michael Dunn. Ting Ting is out there. DJ's out there. There is a link, DJ. If you're not doing anything, jump on in. So, I got some projects going on that I'm really excited to get to the range. I'm trying to make a 9mm reload that is going to. So I've got this Winchester Active Duty. I did a review on it last year, towards the end of the year, Gary, and it was like one of my favorite factory rounds I'd ever shot. I was getting almost 1,350 feet per second out of a 4.5-inch barrel. So I'm trying to mimic this round. I'm trying to make it for myself. So, but I'm doing like the one thing us reloaders are not supposed to do. We're going a little past the max charges. So
better watch your cases when you do that.
Yeah, so we'll see how it does. I've decided what I did yesterday. I took 15 pieces, loaded them with one powder charge, then I upped it and did 15 more, and then I upped it again. So I think we're going to be just fine with the very first charge. But we'll have to inspect the brass really, really well at the range before we go moving on to the second charge weight. So, but Chicago Mike's got a question. He says, "Are you monetized? Aren't you monetized yet?" I have not monetized the channel yet. I probably should. Gary, are you monetized?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pros, cons. I guess that's a good topic we could talk about.
Of being monetized?
Yeah.
Well, then you have to deal with YouTube being a little bit stricter as to what you upload and what you do on live stream. Well, if you monetize your live streams, I do not monetize my live streams. But on your static videos, there's certain things that you can't get away with if you're monetizing and stuff like that. So oftentimes if you're not careful, you will upload a video and it will be limited for ads because of certain elements that you've got in there. So you've got to make sure that you understand the monetization guidelines because they are different slightly than regular YouTube guidelines. So,
Right.
you've got that. Um, Other than that, that's really about the only cons I can think of for doing it. The pros are obviously, you make a little bit of money. Don't expect the money to be rolling in right away, at least not for me anyway. But yeah, Tony says you got to be mindful of colorful languages. They're a little bit better about that now, but if your content is laced with expletives, especially certain words and stuff like that, then you really get into trouble. So obviously they're trying to structure their content. If an advertiser is going to put their ad in front of your video, they want it to meet their guidelines. So, and Clover Tech could explain this far better than I could.
Right.
But that's what it amounts to is they have to be advertiser friendly in order for them to put ads in front of there. And sometimes, depending on what you're doing, maybe your viewers might complain, hey, I had to watch a 2-minute video and I had to watch 30 minutes or 30 seconds worth of ads. Well, you can kind of skip those if you want to and stuff like that. But I mean, all in all, I don't make a lot off of them, but a decent amount. So plus it enables you to get super chats. If people want to contribute that way, you can do channel memberships.
Yeah.
So you don't have any of that turned on.
No, I'd have to monetize to get
Yes,
any
you
of that
do have
stuff
to
turned on.
Channel memberships are nice. It's kind of like having Patreon, but not being on Patreon. I was on Patreon and I ended up leaving because, well, I didn't quite like their politics and the way they treated one of my friends, and we won't go into that. But
No, I remember that whole thing when that happened.
So I got completely off Patreon, and I do all my funding with channel memberships, and I'm happy with it. I mean, I'm not in this to make a whole lot of money. I worked and I've got retirement pension and stuff like that. I don't need to live off what I make off YouTube. On the other hand, it's good if it doesn't cost you so much money because, as you know, being on YouTube and producing content does cost money.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
When you have live streams and mail out, prizes to people, the post office isn't cheap to mail stuff out anymore.
No, it's not. I mean, it does, but all that little stuff starts to add up. Like normally, like my giveaway that I'll do during the Wednesday night live chat, like that's going to cost $2 just to mail that envelope out. I got a little like privatized mail place real close to my house that I go to instead of going to the post office, and I'm sure they probably charge just a little bit more for the service, but yeah, it all adds up over time. So we've had a bunch more people jump in. Tony York's out there. He's in here on your side. You got about just as many people coming in on your side as I do.
Yeah, I've got my chat open on side of my screen so I can reply back to my viewers. But yeah, I've got quite a few out there too. Hi, guys.
Black Cat Outdoors is out there. Black Cat, there is a open link pinned up at the top of the chat. You are more than welcome to jump in here.
And I did take the liberty of posting your link on my chat also, pinning it to the top. So
perfect.
They'll be able to get to it in either place.
Tommy Gunn joined the chat. Burnaby Sanchez is out there. Captain Codebook. MacMan's out there. Sonny Guns. Got a decent little group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just need to do a little bit more research. I'm probably really stupid for not turning on monetization. I mean, I've got quite a few videos that have gotten a lot of views that probably would have made me a few dollars, but need to get. So, like, I'm worried about. I know that like linking anything to, I've got quite a few, um, like discount codes that people can use, and like I just picked up one about an hour ago. Breakthrough Clean got a hold of me and sent me a 20% off discount, which would be great for my viewers. But I don't know if I can link that in the description. I know I can. I think you're allowed to like put your link tree or your solo in your thing, and then they can go to that site and get to the links.
Now, I put my affiliate codes in the descriptions of my videos. I don't
Okay.
know whether that's a problem or not. They're also in my link tree. I mean, the 2 or 3 affiliate codes that I have, let's put it that way. I'm not a big deal like you yet. But you caught past me a long time ago, buddy.
Yeah.
As my dad used to say, you passed me like a freight train does a tramp.
I don't know. You're doing pretty good. I saw you're getting close to 2,500, I think now.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Um, this year's been good to me since I started doing the shorts and producing some of the knife content. So I'm going to do some more of that. I just did a knife video, an unboxing yesterday. I've got some more to do with those. So, and I've got some gun videos I need to do too because I am a firearms channel. I need to get my butt to the range with the camera. Yeah, I'm running out of excuses to do that, as the gun snob and all them would be more than happy to tell you. So I need to get my lazy butt to the range or get some content.
Yeah. Oh, Black Cat, we don't care about that. We're not monetized, so
Yeah, you gotta watch that guy.
he's always so much fun though when you have him on or he does his own stream. I'm subscribed to his channel. I like watching
I've known him practically ever since I started having a channel on YouTube.
You could get Moo in here.
Good old friend of mine. Moo, yeah, he's at work, I'll bet you.
Oh, probably.
He's supposed to be working.
Well, speaking of guns, I actually did bring up a few things I wanted to talk about. So the other night, I was watching Honest Outlaw was doing a review on. Let me get this pulled up. Share the screen here. He does not do too many budget guns over on that channel.
Occasionally he does.
Yeah.
I usually watch most of his stuff too.
So this is one that he just did a review on, and he was like, you could tell, like I've probably watched every video that man's put out, and you can tell when he really likes something. Mm-hmm. He was really happy with this. Now he did have a couple, I think he had a stovepipe and maybe a failure to feed towards the end. He was using just some cheap factory ammo. But while he was, so I went on their website because SAR normally their guns are pretty affordable. And I came up with, I found this thing and I was like, that's right up my alley. So this is the SAR 9 SOCOM. So this is optics ready. It's got the suppressor height sights, threaded barrel. He said the trigger in that SAR 9 was pretty decent. So I assume this has the exact same trigger. But I like the magwell on this and this grip. I actually like the color of this thing. So what do you think about that gun, Gary?
Well, what little bit I know about it, I've heard good things about SAR pistols. Obnoxious One has reviewed several of their handguns. He'd be a good person to talk to. First-hand experience. I think he owns about 5 of them or so. And he really didn't have anything bad to say about any of them. They ran great, and he enjoyed shooting them. So I'm not going to speak for him, but I think he'd tell you that it's pretty decent value. I don't personally own any.
Yeah. So there's our. Definitely a good looking gun. I did notice that it does not have an ambi slide release, but I'm pretty used to that, being left-handed, dealing with that. So it's got a 17 plus 1 capacity, 5.2 inch barrel length, 29.9 ounces. Oh, I don't know, but I think
So
this is
frame
one I
size,
might be
we're-
interested in getting.
Frame size, we're talking like a Glock 17 here.
Yeah,
Okay.
on this one. So,
which to me is not unmanageable. I mean, I have a 22, so same size frame and a 40 Smith and Wesson. And although it's not anything I'd EDC, I'd certainly have no problem picking it up and doing whatever I need to do with it. That's the added length of the slide itself makes it a lot easier to stay on target with your sights and everything else. So.
I saw that I got Captain Codebook's comment up. It's funny you brought that up because that is another gun that I want to buy this year.
What's that?
The BRG9, but
they
have. So I'll share this screen. So this is one that is not out yet. It should be coming out here pretty quick. This is the BRG9 Tactical. Now this gun is fully ambi. It's got the left hand. It's got the slide release on both sides. The mag release is reversible on this. So,
did they have that at SHOT at the range day? I didn't get to the BRG booth.
I did get to their booth, but I do not remember seeing this one. But it probably was there.
I did shoot their BRG9 last year at SHOT Show and liked it.
So on this one, this comes with a lot of stuff. So obviously we got suppressor height sights, red dot ready, threaded barrel. I like the, I can already tell I'm going to like this grip. I can tell by the texture on it. Stippled front and back. And this one.
Fluted magwell too. So.
Yeah. So this has got a match trigger in it, 3.5 pounds. 2 18-round mags, 1 20-round mag, ambidextrous slide release, magazine release, threaded barrel. Slide is ported. So this looks like, okay, oh yeah, so we got 3 back straps with this too. It does come with all the optic plates, a cleaning kit, and a load assist. So you're getting a lot there for $4.99.
Yeah, the back straps are nice for somebody like me who has, well, as my friends say, baby hands, I don't have as big hands as a lot of people do. So, yeah, if I can make that grip a little smaller, it really helps me. So,
let's see who else has jumped in out here. Kingpin is out there.
Yeah. Tim S is out there on my side. Gunpowder Beauty.
Here. All right. Gunpowder Beauty, yeah.
Well, we got all kinds of folks.
Thanks for stopping by, everybody. This was just another spontaneous chat we threw together. Andrew of the 740 has just jumped in. Good to see you, Andrew. Good to see Tim S. All right, what was the other one? There was something else I had here. Now, this isn't really a gun that I want, but I found this to be super cool. I saw this yesterday on 22 Plankster, did a review of this. So this is the Franklin Armory F-17, and it is, obviously it's an AR, but this shoots the 17. What is the version of their Magnum? It's not the 17 HMR, but this one shoots. Go through this here. We got a 16-inch threaded lightweight barrel, rotated locking bolt, dual firing pin system, polymer mags. Okay, and then it goes up to the F-17L with a 20-inch threaded precision barrel. So this is I don't have a whole lot of info on this yet. We'll go to buy now and see what it pulls up. So yeah, so now here's why the price on these is way up there. $14.89 for the X and $18.29 for the L model. So, all right, here we go. This should get into what we're looking for. So this shoots the 17 WSM. So at the muzzle yesterday, 20 grain bullet, 3,000 feet per second out of this thing.
Wow.
So I just thought it was kind of cool being a rim fire gun. Let's see if we can maybe make this. Guess we can't, but that is what it looks like.
I'm not that was real kind familiar with 17. You said 17 WSM.
Yeah, so basically, it's I don't know much about. I've shot 17 HMR. It's a cool round, a lot of fun to shoot. But this is basically like the Magnum version of 17 HMR, I guess. I don't know, but pretty cool looking gun.
It is. It ought to be for that money.
Yeah. That's what I had for guns that I was interested in. But yeah, that SAR-9 SOCOM and that BRG-9 Tactical are definitely ones I'm interested in. Buck is out there. Buck, there's a link if you want to jump in, man.
Yeah, we need some more folks in here. If they weren't all working, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Not everybody's like me and can just sit at home every day.
I had one job to do this morning. I had to go put a pressure tank in for a well system, and then I had some banking to do, and I was like, I'm just going to go home and relax.
I think you deserve that. This is why when you call a plumber, it takes so long to get him to get to your house
because we're live streaming.
I can't work you in until next Tuesday.
Thank you, Tim. Yeah, I'm happy with very happy about how the channel's going for sure. MC's got 5 years left, he says. Yeah, I can't wait till I get to that day.
Yeah, you're just a young man. You've got a ways to go yet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got a long way to go. Especially since I didn't start doing my retirement till later in life. So I got some catching up to do.
Well, I wasn't supposed to be able to retire this early, but my company kind of wanted to get rid of a lot of the folks who had been around for a while and were making too much money so they could, get some younger people in there and pay them less. So they offered some of us an early retirement incentive. And I'm like, I'm close enough to 65, 67. I think I was 62 at the time. It's like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah. Oh, so Gunpowder Beauty and Tardot are with Cindy and Roll Call in Indiana, it looks like.
Yeah, Roll Call's getting married tomorrow.
Oh, is he?
So, yeah, he and Cindy are getting married tomorrow. So, Gunpowder Beauty and her husband Tardot are in the wedding party. And, yeah, they are all together. They said they're doing a tour of Indiana right now. And so I wish them all the best. I was hoping I could be out there, but what with going to, it's not going to be too much longer, we're going to be going to NRAM. So,
Yeah, I'm getting excited. I can't wait to get out there. I'm actually gonna. So 2 weeks before that, I'm gonna head down to Dead Zero in Tennessee, meeting up with the guys from Georgia Shooting Connection, and
cool.
spending 3 days with those guys shooting there at Dead Zero. And so it's gonna be April's gonna be a fun month for me, going down there and being with them, and then getting to come out and be with all you guys again at NRAM. So
yeah, we're going to have a good time out there.
oh, Buck said he just sent me a text. Let's see what Buck said. Ah, Buck's got some new bullets. Nice. Those look good. I like the red and green. Yeah. I don't think my license in Marion here would do me any good in Michigan, but I would move. Oh, backflow. Yeah, I don't even do that. I don't have a backflow valve inspection license. Got a buddy of mine that does that for me.
So you have to have a separate license for various things, or?
So yeah, so basically what he's talking about, a backflow preventer, it's for people who have two water sources at their house. So if they have a well and city water, they have to have that backflow preventer in there. Or if you own a business, I think I don't know if it's like that everywhere, but like here in our town, if you have a business, you have to have a backflow preventer, especially like restaurants, beauty salons, stuff like that. So once that's installed, you have to notify your local health department, and then it has to have an inspection done on it once a year. And they have a record of it, and they put it in a computer system. So when that 1 year rolls around, if you haven't had it inspected yet, they start sending letters and calling you on the phone. So it's kind of a pain in the butt once you put one in.
Yeah, the only thing I know that you would call like a backflow valve that I've ever messed with is on a sump pump, where you got that little butterfly valve or whatever in there, which are notorious for wearing out after about 5 years.
Tim S, no, it's not a secret. If you're talking about Dead Zero, we're doing that April 5th, 6th, and 7th. Jason Stewart and Gene from Reloading from the Hot Pot and Miss Hot Shot, we're all riding down together in my truck. We're gonna leave on Wednesday, which I believe that's the 5th. I should probably check that. Yeah. We're gonna leave early Wednesday morning, Tim. And then we're gonna shoot all day Thursday and all day Friday. So yeah, it's no secret or anything. GGW said he was going to go to retirement at 62, but the cough hit, and I was essential, so I sat at my desk for 2 years. Hey, if they wanted to pay you, that's great.
Yeah, they said I was essential during the COVID time too. So while a lot of the people where I work, they set practically everybody up so they could work from home. But they said, no, the IT people needed to be on site. So if anybody needed to be issued a laptop or anything, we needed to be there. So we'd be close to our equipment so we could help people and stuff. So while everybody else got to work from home, we were, quote unquote, granted an exemption to go into work.
Oh, okay.
Even when they had the stay-at-home order, we were authorized to drive back and forth to work. So we didn't get to have any of the fun everybody else had. So. If you call it that.
We were super fortunate. My business just thrived through all that because we had so many people working from home. Things were breaking constantly.
Yeah, they were using it more.
Yeah. So me and my brother-in-law, we were just all day long. We were cranking out the jobs. I was really fortunate that it went that way for me during the
Internet
cough, as
companies
GGW says.
internet companies made a fortune during that because you had people who didn't have high-speed internet that all of a sudden had to have it for work, and
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot. Okay, so back to the backflow preventers. I forgot about lawn irrigation. They got to have them too. MC says boilers need it. I think MC's HVAC, so he knows all about that stuff. Codebook said, yeah, sprinkler systems require one too. Yeah. I don't do any commercial plumbing. I'm only residential repairs, so I don't know much about the commercial side of stuff.
all I know about plumbers is I had to hire plenty of them when I had the old house back before 2020. Yeah, 2020, and I was pretty much on a first name basis with the plumbing company that I worked with. I found out you find somebody you can rely on and you stick with them. And when you do that, your plumbers are way more likely to fit you in on their schedule if they know you're a good customer and pay your bills and stuff.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I definitely have my favorite customers. They call me on a Saturday. Even I'll go over to their house if they need something. Some
They
of these
don't
people
like
I've
it.
had for 30 some years now, and definitely go when they need me.
And they don't like it when they have to fix somebody else's work who didn't do it correctly the first time. And a lot of your bargain plumbers who just do it on occasion uh, tend to take shortcuts. I have a buddy of mine who's he has a master plumber's license, and he said half to three quarters of the stuff you see done around these houses isn't even up to code.
No. The ones that irritate me are the people that call me on Saturday and Sunday and we're like, we tried to put our own faucet in, or we tried. And I'm like, I'm to the age now, I won't even go on that stuff. I'm like, no, you should have just called me in the first place. I mean, some stuff even that like requires soldering. I'll be like, do you have a torch? Do you have solder? And they're like, no. And I'm like, you definitely probably shouldn't have started that project. But yeah, get all kinds.
I can remember when I was a younger man, I installed my own garbage disposal under the sink, and I remember how hard that was. And I'm like, I would gladly pay somebody good money to get on their back underneath that sink and do that kind of work.
Oh yeah, that I'm interested in that one too. Floridian.
Oh yeah.
Might bring that one up. What's that? IWI Masada Slim. Pull that up and look at it. Yeah, I like this gun. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get a big picture of it, but we will try. All right. So that is the Slim. Let me see what I can do over on this side. Get rid of this. Yeah, there it is. It is a nice looking gun. I don't think these are very much either. It's not ambi. Let's see what the capacity is on this. So it comes with two 13-round mags, 1.27 pounds without the mag, 1.4 with, barrel length 3.4 inches.
So it's a compact. Okay.
Yeah, it looks, I don't know, looking at it, I would say it looks a lot about the same size as the 365 XL.
Looks like it. And I think it said, yeah, that's optic ready.
Yeah, so let's It's definitely optic grade. Let's see. Yep, so it's got the RMSC cut because it'll work with the 507K, the Sig Romeo Zero, etc.
So very similar to the 365 XL, which I have one of those, by the way.
So they do offer 2 10-round mags if you live in a state that you have to have those. So that's cool that they're at least doing that. 13 round, 10 round, 3-dot sights, 1 in 10 twist,
450
MSRP of $450.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
No, I like it. There's a better picture.
Yeah, you can kind of see it now.
Yeah, I like it.
Front and rear serrations. Now, does that not have a Picatinny rail on it? I don't.
Doesn't look like it, does it?
Not in that. Before I thought it did, but
so here's with the red dot.
Well, it looks like it does, though.
Let's see if it says anything. Not seeing anything about that. It almost doesn't look like it does, though, does it?
No.
I don't know. It's almost like
365 XL doesn't either, so.
Yeah.
You can add one to it, but.
Have you shot it yet, Floridian? Yeah, okay. So, yeah, he just chimed in. He said no rail on that. So, I do like it, though. I don't have a light for my 365 XL yet. I found out a company I'm talking to is actually getting ready to come out with one for it. So we'll see. They said they are going to send me one when the
Streamlight has one, I know.
Yeah, the TLR 7 sub, they call it, fits it. So
now on mine, I've got the rail adapter on there that snaps onto that proprietary rail, so you can. Oh, Brian Bridges is out there.
Good to see you, Brian. That's one of your subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
Alaska One Andy's joined us. He said, good morning. It is morning there. They're what, 4 hours behind us? East?
Who's that?
Alaska One Andy. He'd be what, 4 hours behind me probably on the East
Coast?
I
don't know.
I don't know if they're 3 or 4 hours. I think it's 4. I've talked to LW Road quite a few times, and I believe he's 4 hours behind me. Well, we're glad to have both of you. I think anybody else news jumped in that we haven't talked to.
And for everybody on my side, I did pin the link up the top of the YouTube chat, so you can join in on the panel if you'd like. Chris said it's okay.
Yep, everybody's welcome. Jason. Last chat, I forgot to ask if anyone ever bought something twice because you couldn't find the first one.
Yes.
I've never lost a gun, but yes, I have lost accessories.
Lost a magazine once, and within a day after buying the new one, I found the old one. In the safe where I had looked, I'll bet you 12 times. And I still to this day haven't figured out how I didn't find it. Which is how I ended up with an extra mag for that.
I had one the other day that frustrated the crap out of me. So my main camera I use when I'm at the range to film content. I use my Sony ZV-1, and I bought a bunch of extra batteries for it, and they come in plastic cases.
Mm-hmm.
And like an idiot, I left one of those cases at the range the other day, and I'm like, I didn't figure it out till the next day when I went to take all the batteries out and charge them. So, yeah, Floridian, now that you bring that up, I did actually watch that review of it. And I think he liked it. I've never heard anything bad about the IWI stuff. I haven't had any chance to shoot them yet. Oh, so Captain Cobook says, oh, yeah, he must have lost a scope.
Oh, boy. I lost a pocket knife that cost me over $100 out at work a couple of years ago and ended up having to re-buy that knife. Never did find it.
Found it in his brass. I could see that happening.
A bunch of vets out there.
See, I wonder if he's coming to NRAM.
I have not asked him. Be a bit of a trip for him.
Yeah, he's in Texas, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if not, hopefully we'll see him back at Wanamaker in November.
I hope so. This is going to be the first Wanamaker I've missed. Well, since I started going in 2018, I've been to every one of them. So I guess there's no award I'm going to miss out on for not being there. It's just, it seems strange not to be going because I always go. But it just didn't make sense to make that trip, then 2 weeks later turn around and drive to Indiana. So
yeah, I would probably go to the Wanamaker in April if NRAM was like too far away. Like, I don't know though now, because when you talk to anybody, like obviously SHOT Show's the big one everybody needs to go to if you're doing content or whatever, but you hear everybody say NRAM's second. So if it ends up like, if it's an Indy this year, obviously we're gone, but like if it went to Nashville, I can drive that. Nashville takes me about 7 hours from here. But like if it goes back to Texas, because it goes to Texas quite a few times, doesn't it?
And I hear it may be going back to Houston next year. That's the rumor I heard.
So like for that one, that's definitely one that I'm going to have to factor in plane, because
I drove that last year, and that was about close to a 12-hour drive for me.
Mm-hmm. I'm in Ohio, Floridian. Yeah, so if NRAM ends up in Texas, then I definitely am going to have to fly that one. I'm flying to Wanamaker in November. I'm not going to do that drive again. That's the big thing with me right now with Thunder on the Prairie. I really want to go. But that's going to be another plane ticket because I'm not driving all the way to Nebraska. So, because Wanamaker took me. Now, we did stop for lunch on the way out, but we had about a 13-hour drive for that. And from what I'm looking at, the Nebraska trip's going to take me a little longer.
Well, the only good thing about it is it's not that far into Nebraska. It's in the southeast corner. So for me, it's just a 3-hour trip. It's as close to go to Thunder on the Prairie as it is to go to Wanamaker. It's about a 3-hour trip for me. Just the other direction. Straight north, basically.
Captain Code Book says Project Appleseed's Patriot Weekend at the Erie County Conservation in April. That's cool. So he's in Pennsylvania, I take it. I'm thinking that's Erie, Pennsylvania. We'll see. I don't know, Floridian, if you're asking me if I work in Zanesville or Cleveland, or you've worked in Zanesville and Cleveland, but I have not worked. I did work in Cincinnati for a couple years. Worked in Columbus, Delaware, but never worked in either one. I've been to both of those places multiple times. In fact, I shoot USPSA in Zanesville. MC says Nebraska is a 12-hour drive from him. G-Web said, it sounds like it's time for a company, etc. You can use to travel on the cheap. Yeah, you're right. Poncho Fett said that's a 9-hour drive. So are you going to Thunder on the Prairie, Gary?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Code Book is right. Oh, he's not that far from me. That's only about 2 hours and 15 minutes away from me. It's up in Barbecue's neck of the woods. Yep. There's MCK.
Yeah.
Wrong area. Like Cat said. Oh. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. I think it's gonna be fun. I was listening to the Mouse Party yesterday, and it sounds like Floss and Baron looks like they're gonna be gone.
Yeah, that surprised me. I haven't met either one of those two.
I know. I'd like to meet them both.
And I got to meet Squibload last year there, and of course the Nebraska people, Travis P11, Defense Dad, Pat in a Bunker, and I don't know if you know.
There too, right?
Pardon me.
DJ was there too, wasn't he?
DJ was there too. Stan, SS Pawn, Stan was there.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you, David. Thanks for coming by, man. Appreciate you.
And we did get to have dinner one night with, oh, good Lord, Sandhills.
Oh, okay.
He didn't get to come to the event because he does DJ stuff for weddings on the weekends and stuff, and he had a prior commitment. I think he does again this year, but he did meet us for dinner. So now I had met him before because Travis and Sandhills came to Wanamaker in 2018.
Okay.
So there's quite a few gun tubers up in Nebraska.
Yeah, what I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna fly out, and then I'm gonna actually just send some money to Travis to help with ammo, because I'm just not trying to pack guns and take them on the plane. And him and I've already talked about it. He's like, look, we're going to have plenty of guns here for you to shoot. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is just offset some of the ammo costs, fly out there, get a rental car, and drive to the range.
Yeah, that's the way it was last year. They have at the range where we were shooting, there's a covered area back behind it with it's kind of a structure with an awning on it, provides shade, and there's a bunch of picnic tables back in there. And a lot of people had their guns and ammo just laying out there, and they invited people, say, if you want to shoot anything on this table, go ahead. And we had a lot of fun shooting each other's guns and stuff like that. And it was a big range. I mean, there was plenty of room for at least half a dozen people to go out there on the line at a time. We had RSOs there making sure everything was safe, which was real nice. In fact, they gave us the walkthrough before we ever went out there, what you can do, what you can't do, and they were schooling people on the proper handling of guns. So it was as safe as it could be.
I want to say hi to Ron Wayne, has joined the chat. Tony has been to Wanamaker, it looks like.
Yes.
I'd like to meet Tony. He's always in Travis's chats in the mornings when I'm on there.
Yep, I got to meet Tony. That was a pleasure. Yeah, Never Enough Ammo was there. Night Strike. I've even met Night Strike. So.
Have you?
Yeah, he was there.
Captain Codebook, we really appreciate you stopping by, man. Have a great weekend. I'm excited to meet Rokal out at NRAM.
Oh, yeah. I have met him 3 times, I think. At least 2, if not 3 times, I think, at Wanamaker. He's a good guy.
G-Webs is there, yeah. We need to try to talk G-Webs into coming out in November. He's fun to be around.
He is. I have had that pleasure many times.
Yeah, when we were at a SHOT Show, I actually met him on the bus on the way out to range day. That was the first place we ran into each other at, yeah. And obviously I didn't know who he was because I've never seen him, but he knew who I was. So
okay, cool. I was going to say you wouldn't have known.
Himself, and we went out to range day together.
Yeah, the first time you meet him, he has to know who you are. You have to see his badge.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a fun trip out on the bus. I rode out with She Fires, Milsurp Duo, 2A We Stand. G-Webs was on there with us. Guns and Gadgets was on the bus with us. He was up in the front.
Now, I met him at last year's SHOT Show. Him and Flying Rich.
Yeah.
Then Flying Rich was there again this year, too. And I sat at a table with Yankee, but I didn't get a chance to introduce myself, so I still doubt that he even knows who I am. But he was engaged in a conversation with somebody else, and I didn't want to interrupt him just to say, hey, glad to meet you. He'd be like, who are you?
I used to watch his stuff when I very first started watching gun content on YouTube, but I haven't watched his channel in years.
I occasionally do. I won't say that I look at everything of his, but occasionally I do look in on his stuff.
The last thing that I remember that I saw with him wasn't there like a big feud between him and Mr. Guns and Gear there at one time a few years back?
Oh, yeah. And then him and Hank Strange and everything else. But I think, this is just my opinion, I think a lot of that is kind of put on because I believe the Yankee Marshal is more of a character than it is his personality.
Right.
I think he just wants to stand out in the community by kind of being that guy. So
Floridian, we appreciate you stopping in, man. Thank you for being here and have a great weekend.
Now, I will tell you, if you ever meet me at any kind of event or anything, you're not going to get anything any different than you see on my live chats or anything else. I don't play anybody else. So I'm just as goofy in real life as I am on here.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody, I mean, pretty much everybody in our circle is the same as same on YouTube as we are in person, I think. I mean,
yeah.
I didn't think when I didn't actually get Wanamaker last year. It was my first time meeting any of you guys that are on YouTube. So, and it was a great time because it was like everybody's the same as they are on Snob is obnoxious, just like he is on YouTube in real life. So
Yeah. Well, I interact with Sarge and Obnoxious and Gunsnob on chat practically every day, and you know have spent extensive time with those guys. So yeah, they are everything they appear to be.
yeah, that was because that made it nice for me because I was nervous driving out there. I'm like, man, I've never met any of these guys in person, and then when we all met at dinner that night, it was like we all know. It was just like, okay, I know all these guys. We're just
Well,
sitting around having a good time like we do in the chats.
I
So
think most of us, just about all of us that kind of hang in this same group, we are, and I've told people this before, we're not professional personalities on YouTube. We are just regular people who work jobs, or in my case, used to work a job. And oh, by the way, we have a YouTube channel and we do things too, but I don't put on any kind of different outfit or anything to be on YouTube. I'm just so you're meeting regular people when you go to Wanamaker and NRAM and stuff for the most part. Yeah, we've got our fancy badges and cameras hanging around our necks and stuff like that, but we just folks, we put on our jeans the same way everybody else does.
yep, exactly. Hi, G Webs.
Hey, I just seen you had the link there. Thanks for hosting.
Oh, thanks for jumping in. I figured I was hoping you'd stop in for a little bit. There's the dog. Doing the same thing my Frenchie's doing right now, sleeping.
Yeah,
Can
I don't
I'm
know
eating-
where George
I'm,
is.
I'm eating right here, and he don't even care.
No, they have no pugs and French bulldogs have no. They don't care about your personal space. That's for sure.
No, you just don't have any. Yeah,
None.
I'll be sleeping, and then there's just some little dog standing on top of me, like he climbed up on top or whatever. He's just looking at me, like you see in a cartoon. He does that for real.
My problem is with George. If I like to get up to go in the other room for something, even just to go get a drink or something like that, I could be gone like 2 minutes. He seems to think it's funny to jump up in my chair and lay down while I'm out of the room. And he doesn't like it if you act like you're going to sit on top of him or something like that. So it's kind of a game. So the only way I can get by with it is if he's off in the other room sleeping. Most of the time, he won't bother coming in here. But if he's awake, yeah, he's going to steal the chair. That's just what he does.
Making sure
223
you remember it's his
DMR
chair.
has joined the chat. Good to see you. Go ahead, G
Yeah.
Web. Sorry.
You're just making sure Gary knows it's his chair. He's letting Gary use it.
Yeah, pretty much his apartment. He just don't pay the rent.
So, G, how's things doing with the new sewing machine?
It's here. It's behind me. I'm trying to figure out. At first, I was trying to figure out a good series of videos to make. Right, since opening it up is it's a one-time thing. So if I'm going to make an open the box type of video or not. So I've been using it as a bit of a project to go around and attempt to evaluate if it's worth doing the opening, right, or what. So I've been trying a couple of different methods to see if the opening itself is worth recording. So in other words, since I'm not like burning down the house or whatever, I figured I'd think about it for a minute. I'm planning on setting up a separate channel. And that's where I was thinking, do I start with the opening of the box or is it that critical? And sort of, I say I'm kind of, what do they say? It's not writer's block. It's like bogged down in options. So I've been working on some other projects, and that's that the sewing machine project's like bouncing around in my head. So I haven't, like I say, had to make a decision immediately, which lets me play with ideas. So I'm not sure which way I'm going with it yet. So anyway, it's just sort of sitting here waiting to be unpacked.
I want to say hi to Garage Guy. He is out there. Yeah, Gary and I were actually talking about that in the back chat about doing these live streams. Sometimes it's hard to come up with topics, and
Oh, I can give you some ideas on that.
yeah, yeah. Sometimes I get blocked. Like,
An easy way to do it is just you could pick a channel like with a throwing a dart at a dartboard or whatever the last channel in your history, right? But you can kind of randomize it by just going to a YouTube channel that you either like or don't like, even it doesn't matter, and then go to their video page and then sort by popular, or you gotta guess sort by most recent, but sort it and then see what's the most popular video or two, and then that can be a topic for you. And it's a pretty random way of getting probably something that's an interesting topic.
Now, I was playing around G-Webs. I found one of those AI text sites, and I was kind of like you, where I was playing around on it, asking it to write me a paragraph or two about this or that. I even had it create me a quiz. I asked it to create me a quiz with 5 questions regarding historical firearms in the United States and provide the answers, and it did that fairly quickly. So then I asked it to
in a table.
rewrite the Second Amendment in the words of Yoda, for example, and it would do that too. So it would do some comical things.
And it came out okay, right? Like it wasn't
Yeah,
just
it did.
nonsense.
It did a good job. I was impressed.
When you do that kind of thing, put something in there like a qualifier, like in a table, and then it'll arrange it in a table. You know what I mean? Like it'll put the data out visually.
Yeah, I'm going to play with it some more, but it's a lot of fun to do.
One of the things that when you talk about the sewing machine too is that whenever I get the sewing machine going, then I'm going to start sewing. So I got to also think of that as being like the beginning of it's going to have a wake. I'm going to be spending some real time on that. So I'm also trying to clear some projects off the plate so that I can spend the time on. We'll be doing some conversations on chat GPT or the other AIs too, but they're super interesting. Have you played with them yet, Chris?
With the AI?
Yeah, it'll be the visual or the typed, whatever you call the verbal one.
Yeah, I've been playing around with that Lexica that you were using. In fact, I still have it pinned up here in my favorites. But it's definitely interesting. I would assume too, once you do some of the paid versions of those, I bet you can really get in depth with them.
I got the paid one now because I really, really, really dig it. So it's kind of interesting. It's paid, but wait, am I trying to? One of them is $20 a month. The other ones are as you use them, right? So it kind of depends on how much you use them. But the one has 4 brains, I call them. I don't know if they're 4 engines, whatever they are, and they have like a little bar graph or something that tells you like if it's fast, it's going to be less. I don't know what the 3 characteristics are, but if it's going to be fast, it's going to sacrifice something else, and if those are faster, then it's going to sacrifice speed. So you can, if you want it to be accurate, in other words, it's going to be slower, and if you want it to be more creative, then it's going to be less accurate, that kind of thing. There's like a kind of a balance, and as they increase it, I guess they're going to be adding more to it. But for playing around on it, yeah, you just kind of use the one that's kind of the slowest and the fastest, but the dumbest, I guess. But for a lot of things, like when you're making something sound in the way that Yoda would say it, it's not going to be inaccurate,
Yeah.
But if you're asking it like, how many, some stats, how many bus accidents were there in Toledo in 2019 to 2000? Well, actually, it'll be accurate on stuff like that. But if you said how many bus accidents in Toledo in 2022, that it won't know because it's too recent.
Okay. Walter Bunning has joined the chat. Good to see you, Walter. Tim S. had to leave. I will see you at the Georgia Shooting Connect. I don't know. I have not got a link yet, but I assume they will probably want me to come on here in a little bit.
Ron Wayne had to take off also.
Thank you, Ron, for stopping by.
Oh, what
Appreciate
time
it.
is it? I thought that show happened at 5 p.m. or something.
What, the Georgia show?
Yeah.
No, it's not till 8 Eastern. So
Oh, yeah, you got a while. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, how long was I eating? I just stopped to eat.
No, I didn't have anything to do. We were talking about it earlier. The weather's just horrendous here. So I just decided to do one of these. I call them the just because chats. I just thought I'd throw one in. So.
One of my other projects is that I got to get out of the way before I can start sewing is to pull the old sewing machine out of the thing. So I'm using this. I don't know if it's made out of redwood. It feels like, I guess it could be cedar or something, but it's some kind of like real wood entertainment system from back in the days when TVs were giant, not flat panels and all that. You know, when you'd have this big giant piece of wood in your house, and then VCRs or something, probably because there's like side things, you know, for like the VCRs and all the movies or whatever. And so it's old and clunky. So I got it, pretty much hand me down kind of thing, and it's just been sitting here, or it was sitting there for a long time. And then when I got that machine, I figured out one of the tricks to it, because it's wiggling around. It's constantly, you know, moving and wiggling and jiggling and stuff and going up and down and back and forth all the time. That if you have it on the most solid base possible, it's better off. Like if you were to put that thing on a rickety table on wheels, you know, the thing would sew really poorly. It would be all sloppy. So I figured out that if I put it in this entertainment system where that giant TV part was, it gives me plenty of room for the machine. And I eventually stuck all my threads and stuff around it, so it made like a nice sturdy place for the sewing machine. But it's got the old sewing machine in it and a bunch of junk and garbage, you know, because I haven't been using that machine. So I got to go clean that out. So I'm thinking of doing one of those, take a picture first, remember to take a picture like halfway through or something, you know, so I've got some content for the B-roll type of thing.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I think I'm glad you got it. I think it's going to be cool. I think you're going to enjoy it too.
Yeah, it's definitely, because I ran the other one to the ground. So I'm curious to see. I was able to keep the other one running pretty tight, knowing where all the like weak points were in the system. It's just a sewing machine. It's just that it's a sewing machine with an extra set of robot arms that wiggle the, you know, the part that's normally just going in a straight line. It wiggles that all around. That part never broke. It was always the sewing machine part that broke because of the thread. It's so crazy that these machines that can push through like a 1/4 inch of metal if you wanted them to, right? Like they're really strong pushing up and down on that needle. But if you move that needle to the side just a hair, they snap and they break and they foul up. And all the little shavings off of threads, you know, because you just got threads going past all these curbs and pulleys and stuff, as they shed, that stuff is like fiberglass or something. It just gets all in there and it cakes in there, and that's what kills the machine. Is just essentially not being careful with the threads constantly and using like air to blow it out. So now that I know that after killing one, like this one, I'm hoping will last forever, because I'll know that's just the littlest stuff. It's just essentially like the dust from your drill press is what kills it, kind of thing. You know, so just knowing to dust it off, it should last forever, I'm hoping.
Rollis has joined the chat. M. Gabriel.
Did you ever send me good art? Anybody that wants to send me good art, feel free. I'm not guaranteeing nothing, but, you know, having good, I can't necessarily always pull a good, you know, vector or JPEG or whatever. Feel free to email me them.
Okay. Defense Dad. We just decided to have a chat. I came home from work early and
we've been
threw
thinking
one
about
together.
having Thunder on the Ohio plains or something, starting up a new shooting competition.
I've thought about that. I've had some people ask me that. They're like, you should put a range day together and get a bunch of people to come, but I don't know.
Everybody gets a high point 10 millimeter.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I bet I could get them to sponsor it too, since they're from here. I would maybe like to do that one day. It's just I don't my problem is owning this plumbing business is now and then. I never thought I was going to take this YouTube thing so serious. So now it's like, I don't know where I'll find the time to do any of it. But I would like to do that one day. I think it would be fun. Because there's a lot of YouTubers just in Ohio and around Ohio that we could probably get them to come.
Now, do you work solo pretty much, Chris, or do you have a company with 2 or 3 employees that help you?
So I just have one full-time employee, and then I have a part-time guy that comes and helps us certain days of the week.
So if you leave, work doesn't get done pretty much?
Yeah, that's the problem is I got to be there every day. So I don't, it's not as bad as it sounds. It's just like I used to be a co-owner of another company 2 years ago. And so there was extra help there. And then in March of 21, I broke free. I took off and left that company and just started up my own that was just mine. But in all reality, I work less now than I did back then. As far as like going out physically doing the work, but it's because I don't have to make as much money as I used to have to make.
Right.
Because I had a partner. So it's different now. I only got to make sure my full-time guy is, making a good living, and that's all I need to worry about. So, but there's a lot of stuff, like, even though when you're not at work, there's always work to do. There's always, I've got to do my paperwork when I get home, and I got to do payroll. I've got to do, I got to get stuff ready for my accountant, send it off to her for my taxes. And I like bidding jobs, doing drawings for projects that I'm getting ready to start. And so and the phone just rings. The phone's always ringing. Like, I think I've had 3 calls. So whenever we decide to shut this down, I got 3 people I got to call back when I get off here.
Yeah. Way back where I used to live in the county north of me, we used to have 2 or 3 smaller shops that worked all the jobs, and ended up one of the bigger ones, one of the old guys retired. And so the shop in the biggest city took over his business. They ended up buying everybody else out. So they pretty much worked all the jobs in the county because they didn't have much competition.
Yeah. That's a nice thing. Plumber? Oh, go ahead, G-Web. Sorry.
Were you saying plumber, Gizzard,
or
something else? Wow, only one plumber. That's plumber.
Luckily, they were good people to work with, but on the other hand, you didn't have a whole lot of competition. So if they quoted you a price, you were going to have somebody come from 30 miles away to do your job, and they're going to charge you travel time, unless you happen to have a buddy like I did. But
that's what's nice for me is I've been doing this I started doing this part-time in 1990. So what are we talking, 33 years now? So most of my customers, I would say probably 75, 80% of my customers are just all repeat customers. So
now, are you strictly plumbing, or do you do HVAC too? Because our people did the whole 9 yards.
I did up until I started this business. And when I started this one, I'm like, nope, I'm out. Because we always had an HVAC tech working for us all those years at the other company. So when I turned around to do this, I was like, nope, I'm done with it. I don't want to do HVAC anymore.
So then, is it like you got so many potential jobs that you can pick? I was going to ask you, do you have so many potential jobs that you can pick just the ones that you like to do or that you keep inventory for? But if you've got repeat customers, then it sounds like you're doing whatever they need, not what
Right.
you're doing. Like
Yeah.
you're not a specialist in this or that.
Now,
I guess
Yeah,
that's
so-
less an issue. Back when I was a kid, I was thinking more of like the guys that would be like, let's say they're a specialist in the drain, the sewer pipes or something. They're going to have a lot of sewer pipe, product laying around. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't be any point for somebody who's doing, something else, sprinkler systems, to have all this sewer stuff when there was somebody that specialized. But now you can just go to the store and buy whatever. You don't have to have stuff laying around.
yeah, and that's a nice thing here is like our town's pretty small. I haven't looked and seen what our population is here, but
What's the
like,
town? Let the AI do that. What town is it?
Marion, Ohio. 67 Rebels joined the chat. Good to see you, man. Yeah, so like for me, it's like we've got like
35,000,
How
36,000, 36,000 people.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought it was around 30 something, but so we've got 3 plumbing supply houses here in this town, and we've also got a Lowe's and a Menards. So basically, they're like Home Depots. I don't know if Lowe's and Menards is all over the United States or not, but that's
we got them.
yeah. So we've always got something within about 10 to 15 minutes we can just drive to and grab something. Yeah, there it is. 35,000. Yeah, we're not a very big town.
It's bigger than where I live.
So, and I do work a couple surrounding counties from here. So we're actually called Marion County also, but then there's 2 other counties I do work in too. But yeah, it's all I've done my entire life pretty much. Even when I was working in factories, I worked in a steel mill for 5 years as a crane operator, but I only had to work there 15 days a month because we worked 12-hour shifts. So I did plumbing all the time on my days off. So, but yeah, it's made me a good living and provided me with what I need. I'm not rich by any means, but I'm fairly comfortable. So that's all I care about. I just never liked HVAC. It was just, I don't know why I didn't like it. I just didn't like it. So
I worked on that for a bit in the late 90s, I guess, mid 90s. But I didn't mind it because it's a gig that other people don't want to do or they can't do or whatever. And I don't know. I want to say it's just like plumbing, but it's just like a lot of things. There's only X amount of stuff to learn, right? And I worked at a restaurant chain. So we did have different units on each building, but I only had 17 units to deal with, and some of them were the same. So it was only, so it wasn't like I was working for a company that every day I'm meeting a new type of, brand or model or something. But the worst part was going up on top of a roof when it's 100 and something degrees to fix the thing, and everybody inside hates you because it broke, and then they hate you because it ain't fixed fast enough. There's nothing you can do to win, and you're the one lugging heavy junk up there to, fix it. That was the worst. Plumbing, it's not great, but plumbing is usually under everything, except for sprinklers.
Well, I've always said to everybody who gripes about what plumbers charge, for their rate, these are the people you call when it's 10 below zero because your pipes are frozen and you don't want to go out in that cold and crawl under your house and thaw out your pipes, or you don't want to go down in that basement with 2 feet of water in it and muck and everything else. Not to mention,
It's
probably
sewer
the
part.
easier part of it
Anybody
is
can work
new
on the
construction.
inside.
When you're
It's the outside.
plumbing for new construction, that's fairly clean as compared to a lot of the things a plumber has to do. So
Yeah, 50% of plumbing is the bad part. That's
Mhm.
why you pay for a plumber.
Defense Dan said, what gun belt plumber but the best? Core. I've been wearing a Core for a year now.
You wear a belt? Or I mean,
Yeah, I
hold on.
have.
I was thinking tool belt. You don't carry your tools around.
Oh, no. I just
Have you ever
wear
used a tool belt?
No. Never
I've
had to.
experimented with them because you can sling them over your shoulders to go up ladders and stuff. Like say going up a ladder and flipping over the top of buildings is lame. So I was always looking for different ways to drag. You know, you need some tools every time you go up a building or up on a roof. But I ended up going with like a briefcase more, like kind of like a messenger bag size thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I really wanted one when I was a kid. I mean, I grew up around stuff. So seeing dudes who were like framers or stuff back in the 70s and stuff, like they could, you know what I mean? Like their belts were, I don't know, you know, it's like, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? When there's people know what they're doing and their kit is just right there for them, it's like, you know, really interesting to watch people who know what they're doing just get stuff done. And all them leather belts and leather tool belts and that, like, you know, the leather would kind of just fit to whatever tool. So anyway, I always liked the idea, but I never had the tools to fit it.
Baron's joined the chat. There's
Well,
a
I
link
had
out there, Baron, if you want to jump in. I always enjoy talking to you.
I had an education back in the late 80s. We had a hailstorm come through here and did a bunch of damage to people's roofs. And you couldn't hardly hire a roofing contractor because they were all busy. So my uncle up in Topeka happened to be a construction foreman, and he brought his tools with him. He went down to the lumberyard and helped us buy some shingles, and we ended up re-shingling my sister's house. So he gave us a quick starter course in, you know, here's a roofing hammer, you know, here's how you apply shingles, you know. And I got to crawl up on top of roofs and nail shingles down and haul those things up and down a ladder. And I gained a pretty good appreciation for people who had to do that. That's not fun work. M. Gabriel's asking what time is the Gizzard Gary chat tonight? 9 p.m. Central. That'd be 10 p.m. Eastern.
Well, there is our international side chat guest out there, reloading and more. And I feel terrible, but I cannot remember where he's at. But I do know that it's basically an island off of Italy. So it is good to see you. Glad you're here, man.
Sicily or a different one?
No, he'll tell us, hopefully.
So can I ask you a plumbing question?
Yeah.
On let's say you've got a shower next to the toilet and then slab, right, sitting on the sand.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say that the shower drain comes down and hits some kind of a T, I'm guessing, and then gets to the toilet, and then I'm guessing it. Let's say that the shower's on the east and the toilet's going west, and then you go west a little bit further and you get to some sinks, and then probably I'm guessing the drain from the kitchen, and then it goes a little bit further west and then goes south into the street. So let's say that part where the shower hits the toilet, and I'm guessing it goes from dinky shower, what is that, an inch, to something giant from out of a toilet. So
shower normally will be, they're supposed to be 2-inch. Sometimes they're inch and a half.
But inch and a half, something little coming out of the shower, right? And then it goes over to that toilet and gets big, whatever that, I don't know what they're called anymore, but where you go, you know, you have that, I don't know what to call that anymore, saguaro cactus looking thing where you've got
like a T or a Y. Yeah.
Right, a weird Y with a different size. Anyway, so let's say that that's destroyed and now you're getting sand and everything in there. Is there a way to shove like some kind of plastic bubble down there that hardens without having to dig the slab out?
That's a good question. So
you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen that happen before? Okay.
So supposedly there is a company in Columbus, which is like our state capital, that's about 40 miles south of me. They actually have this liner now that they put inside the sewer, and then I guess they take compressed air and they blow it out, and then
I've seen those for doing the whole run. I just don't know if they make them for just doing.
I don't know on that. Like, I mean, here, like if that happens, we basically gotta, like you said, you're on the slab, so we gotta pull the toilet, jackhammer up the floor, and go down in there and fix it.
Yeah, that's what my gig was back with the restaurants. At least I was able to figure out where the problem was by jamming something down there, and had a pretty good run of being able to just take a saw and cut out like a big enough hole to jam my arm in there, and then spend all night. I would go in there at night, cut out the floor, get a thing to like get my arm in there, go down and get like a no hub usually, like go in there and break it and get some couple of no hubs down there, doing
Yeah.
all that like under the slab with my arm, and then just cram all the sand back up in there. But I think this is too big a gig for that. I'm talking like cutting out the whole slab and standing down there, or at
Okay.
least, right? How much
Yeah.
do you think that costs?
What's that? To cut the slab?
Yeah, thousands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's our answer to our question. G Webs. Malta is the island he's on.
Oh, okay. I've heard of that too. That's where malted milk comes from, I'm pretty sure.
He's got a great YouTube channel. We had him as a guest on the panel. I'm going to guess 5 or 6 months ago he was on. We scheduled it so he could be up because he's so far ahead of us on time. Awesome guest. I had a great time that night. Crazy Gearhead. I have never seen Crazy Gearhead out in the side chat, so glad to have you. He said he was actually in Malta last summer. Beautiful island. It looks like it.
To be honest, I think I'd hang out on any island.
Yeah.
When's the last time you went fishing?
Oh, I did actually go over the summer. My best friend's got a trailer up at Lake Erie and a boat up there. I think it was probably June or July. I went up there fishing with them. I just like being on the water. I love being on a boat.
What's Lake Erie fishing like? Is that trolling for giant fish or poking around the shore for? I don't know how you fish on Lake Erie. I've never done it.
Yeah, we were way out, just dropping, basically just dropping sinker with worms on it. When I was up there, it was we were catching a lot of walleye and catfish. They have like a perch season up there where everybody goes crazy and gets up there to do the perch thing, and
that's a huge lake, isn't it? Isn't it one of the Great Lakes? Like I've never been there, but it's massive.
Yeah,
right?
it's big. Yeah,
so
it's real big.
There's walleye in those giant lakes. I didn't know there was regular fish in those giant lakes.
Oh yeah, that's what everybody goes up there to catch is the walleye.
Oh shit! Whenever I would fish in the Great Lakes, it was I don't even know what they were called. Some kind of giant silver fish with black. I don't know what they were, but they were huge, and we always would get on boats that went out in the middle and trolled for them. It was sort of like being on the ocean or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not paying for none of that. I'll be doing all that myself.
Misha N is out there. Good to see you, Misha. Good. I'm glad you like the stickers. And glad to have you in the chat. Vanessa Kitty's out there. And Ram is saying, I just lost it. Where'd it go? Oh,
if there's muskies in a lake I'm in, that's all I'm fishing for. That's all.
No, I love them. Yeah. I've never fished for muskie, but I've gone up to Canada a few times fishing for northern pike.
Oh yeah.
I assume they're similar as far as the fight goes.
Well, no, I don't think so. Because we didn't get much fight out of pike northerns when I was a kid. That's what I always would fish for, and they'll fight for a minute and then they let go and they just give up because they don't have that much energy in them, at least from what I remember. But what I heard was muskies were the same way. They pull for like a second, but like a catfish will pull all all afternoon. It's got nothing else to do. But they have heard that muskies are like an alligator. They fight for a minute and then they lose all their energy and then you just got to drag them up.
Yeah.
But I might be wrong. I've never been able to fish for them. I remember seeing one when I was a kid on the wall though, and I'm like, you can fish for those? Where are we fishing for little tiny fish?
It was funny when I went up to I did these flying fishing trips. So we would drive all the way up to northern Ontario where the roads pretty much stopped. And then we would take off on a seaplane or whatever you want to call it. We'd fly up to this place called Camp Caribou. We'd stay in a cabin up there for a week.
Pontoon boats or pontoon planes where you land on the lake.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
So we would, they would drop us off at this place called Camp Caribou, and there was a bunch of cabins there. You just rent these cabins for the week. And but the one guy, most of the guys would just go out fish for walleye all day because that's pretty much all we eat the whole week we're up there. But there was this one guy that would always go with us, and all he wanted to do was fish for pike. So I would always ride in a boat with him and go out and fish for the pike because they were so much fun to catch because you could just cast and reel, where walleye, you're just trolling behind the boat all day. I loved catching those pike. They were so much fun to fish for.
No, you're right. That was a big part of it too. And that, like, you were fishing for them. You weren't just waiting for one to catch.
Mm-hmm.
Pole, yeah. But the same way everybody else caught walleyes because that's all they liked eating. And to be honest, they do taste better or whatever, I guess. But it was super hard to bone the Northerns when I remember they had like a weird bone that went out into the meat.
Yeah. So we had a guy up there that he actually worked there. He was, I don't remember what Indian tribe he was from. We just called him Roy.
Hey, Chris, I'm going to have to jump out. My landlord's here. He's putting a new door lock on the door, so I'm going to have to be with him for a little bit. So
that's fine, Gary. Hurry up and plug your chat tonight. 10 o'clock, right? 10 Eastern?
10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, Foul Territory. I hope everybody can make it. And congratulations to you on your 3,000 subs. And
thank you, Gary. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on with me today. I always enjoy having you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. We'll see you later.
I'll see you tonight. Take care. So Ram was saying it's 8:30 p.m. where he's at. So,
over in Italy?
Yeah.
Or it is Italy. It's just or is it a different country?
Yeah, Malta. Yeah, I don't know. We asked him all those questions that night, but okay, Rob's out there, and I forgot to say hi to Rob. Good to see you, Rob. He said shop around on that repair. He said he can do it.
Oh yeah, like I say, I used to do that stuff. I'll do it myself eventually. I'm just trying to. It's been a long time, and I'm also trying to figure out if there's new tech. I'm hoping there's new tech I can just jam down there and blow it up or something, you know.
Yeah.
It says Malta is a country located in the Mediterranean Sea, south of Italy. It's an island nation and a member of the European Union. Capital is something, and its official languages are Maltese and English. Well, now it sounds like that's where the Maltese Falcon comes from.
Moo said that Lake Erie has muskies too. So. You figured me out, Defense Dad. I do like to drink my beer when I'm fishing. G-Webs, you brought that up about the so when we would bring the pike in, that was why I brought up the Indian that was up there with us, Roy. We would have him fillet out those pike. They are very, I don't know much about filleting fish. I'm not a fisherman by any means, but
they were like tricky. There was a technique.
And there's definitely a technique to it.
We would go to you were talking about going to a resort, essentially, like a fishing resort where they all during the fishing season, people just come up for a week or a weekend or whatever, and they guide you, and so you don't have to like be at much what's the word, at risk or nature or whatever. So when we'd come back from those, they would the guide would take you out or whatever. And even if you went out without a guide, when you came back you would rent your boat from a place, or you'd have an agreement with a place, like have a boat for a week or whatever. Wherever the dock was, they'd have a kid there cutting fish open, and you'd give them your fish. And then pretty much before you could fart around, the kid would be done, because that's all they did all day was cut fish open. And they would, from what I remember, but if they knew what they were doing, they would just have one extra slice in the Northern's fillet and no bone. And everybody else I knew who did it, you'd have to be picking bones out as you're eating it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an art to it, I guess. So, spoonbill. Have you ever heard of a spoonbill, G Webs? I've never heard of that.
No, I fished a lot when I was a little kid, and a bit, but I'm in Arizona now, so we're definitely restricted. There's only 2 natural lakes in all of Arizona. There's, essentially kind of puddles on top of mountains. Every other lake in Arizona is somehow created by a dam for either cattle or agriculture or people to drink. So every lake here is stocked with fish that are, not, they made the lake, so they put the fish in them. So here, out here, the fish are made for fighting or for being fished. So it's a lot of bass, and most of the people throw them back. It's not a lot of people are out here to eat the fish. So I think they go to some lakes because the lake kind of has the terrain or whatever, and it's a fun lake to fish or whatever, and people would rather have the fish be there than eat dinner that night. So it's kind of a weird situation in Arizona, really. And then the urban lakes, the lakes in town, Tucson has 5 of them, and Phoenix has a lot, like 13 or more. Those are stocked with cat. I think the cat are grown in farms in New Mexico, I think, and then they're brought over in like a big water truck, and they pour them in here at one part of the year. And you'll go to the lakes in town, and people will sit there with a bucket, and that's how they eat. Like they'll probably eat fish every day and just go catch fish. So those fish are definitely being caught all the time. Okay. But those are essentially corn fed catfish. They're easy to catch from what I understand.
Right. Well, congratulations, Misha. You will love that. That's a nice Jeep right there. I've had one Wrangler and one Gladiator, and they're fun. I'm a little big for them, but I've always enjoyed my Wranglers and my Gladiator. Okay, so Ram's got to leave. Ram, thank you for stopping by. He's probably already gone, but appreciate you. See if we missed any other questions here. We got a lot of those here. Defense Dad, bullheads. Yeah, MC said walleye are less bony than pike. Yes, they are.
And they were spiky from what I remember. I mean, pike, you have those teeth, but walleyes, you don't just go grab a walleye.
No.
Right? They had spikes all over them.
Yeah, they got some nasty teeth too.
Maybe not all over them, but they have got their gills have some spike or something. They're littler than the northern suspense, essentially, right? They don't want to get swallowed. That's what happened to me a couple of times. I was sitting there minding my business because we used to go up to the Boundary Waters to go fishing when I was a little kid. So I was sitting there minding my business, looking in the lake, and there's probably a duck, I guess, or some kind of bird with its baby bird swimming behind it. And then you hear, whoosh, and one of the baby birds is gone. And I was like, what happened? And they're like, oh, a northern came up and ate that baby bird.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's it. I only have one thing in life that I'm fishing, and that's the fish that can eat birds. I'm done. Yeah. That's awesome. And then one time I was fishing, and we would go up there, and we'd go up and fish all summer or wherever for as many times. I don't remember because I was a little kid, but we'd go up there for a while, and then 1 or 2 days they would hire a guide, and then we'd go somewhere way far into Canada to fish, and the guide would know right where to go or whatever. And on that day you'd go, and we'd go up there and come back with a ton of walleye. I couldn't catch nothing but walleye. They would let me fish for northern once in a while, but we were paying for the guides. We were going there to have 3 poles in the water to bring back walleye, right? Because we'd freeze it and eat it all year. So, but then at lunchtime you'd fish for panfish to go eat on the shore, right? So we're fishing for bluegills or whatever because they're easy to fish, and or catch a bunch of them and eat right away. And same thing. I was bringing one in, and as I'm bringing it in, a northern ate it, and then I actually got the northern, and I was like, "Come on, I'm never fishing for a regular fish again. I'm fishing for hunters. This is awesome."
Yeah, they're fun. So I want to say hi to Chad Kelly. He's out there listening in the background at work. I just found his YouTube channel this week, and I'm really enjoying his content. So.
I started out listening for work, and I found out you had a link, and then I jumped in. So not getting as much work done as I was, but it's all good.
No, I'm glad you jumped in. Rob said Jeeps are fun, but they can be a handful when it comes to me. Yeah, they a lot of front end issues with them. I agree with you on that, Rob.
I mean, how much of a Jeep though is perishable? I mean, if the frame falls apart, I could see, but if like springs and stuff wear out, I mean, if you're going up and down things, that's why you got springs. I mean, they're supposed to wear out.
Yeah.
But if do the things break, in other words, or are they just wear out?
I think the biggest thing I think a lot of the problems with Jeeps is just that they're like a Glock or an AR. Like everybody's there's such a huge aftermarket support out there for them. People are always like jacking them. They're putting lift kits on them, bigger tires, bigger everything on them.
That's a great way to put it, because what are they going to make it for? The off-roader, or are they going to make it for the person going to work every day? They don't know. They're selling it to both. So if the off-roader buys it, oh, nothing on here is rugged enough. Everything needs to be more rugged and bigger and knobbier. And then that person going to work is like, man, it's got such knobby tires. It needs to be street tires on here. So that's the same thing with a gun. They're going to either make it for a competition shooter who wants it to be smooth and fast, or like a carrier who's going to want it to be reliable and physically small, right? And then you got other people who demand recoil out of a gun for some reason. So it's true. And then once those people make aftermarket parts, they're going to say, hey, you know what would make this gun even more perfect, or make this Jeep even more perfect, is our part.
Yeah, it's crazy how much aftermarket stuff is out there for Jeeps. It's amazing.
I'm pretty sure I drove past the Jeep factory, and it's in Ohio, right?
Yeah, Toledo.
Yeah, I was driving out of Detroit heading towards the castle in New York. So I was going to go across Pennsylvania. And then whenever I was driving on that trip, I would let the GPS, like as I was driving, if I had nothing to do with, no constraints on the time, I would just be driving up to a town, and I'd say, show me the gun shops. So whatever road I came south on, instead of taking a left to go into Pennsylvania or towards Pennsylvania, I don't remember anymore. But it had me take a right, and there was a surplus store there, if I remember right. A surplus store and a gun shop, a little tiny gun shop that was all reloading stuff. It was a little tiny shop right off the highway, almost entirely reloading, and then like 4 guns. And chatted with that guy a little bit, and he told me about the surplus store across the street, and I checked it out. I don't know if you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about.
No, I'd like to see that though. That'd be cool.
I'll go try to find it. I'm pretty sure that was. And then as I was driving out, I'm like, do. Oh, wait a minute. There's a Jeep. Like, that's not a Jeep billboard. That's a Jeep factory. Like that's more than just a billboard right there.
Yeah. I didn't know Rollis had a Gladiator. He said his is just another inch or pound away. He'll be too big for it too. Yeah, I miss my Gladiator though. I had to get rid of it because when I started my new plumbing company, I had to get a bigger truck to pull my excavator with. So, Casey Dolph has joined the chat. Good to see you. So, Rob's saying that Jeeps have a lot of wiring problems. So, and 223 DMR said Jeeps are made by Dodge. That's the big problem. Yeah, to each their own. I went from my Gladiator to my Rebel, but so far, it's been a good truck. So far, that's the key word. Let's see. Chuck Kelly said, being a motorcycle dealership parts manager gets pretty hectic this time of year when all the race seasons. Oh, I bet.
Yeah, that's like, I need it now, right? And I need like 3 of them this time or something, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and I bet that is a big thing. You figure with people with motorcycles, like here in Ohio specifically, they sit in the garage all winter long, and then they get them out like a week before it's time to start riding, and then they want everything fixed right now. Where the smarter older guys and girls are probably like, probably should get this fixed at the beginning of winter. That way, when spring rolls around, I can just jump on it and enjoy it. But that's not how most people think.
Like you say, it takes a couple of seasons, and then you wouldn't even realize it until something really breaks, or you get a break where you can't get a tech to help you. Well, I don't know. Is it? I've never. I guess technically I've owned a motorcycle a couple of times, but I've never considered myself much of a bike rider or nothing. And I don't know that many people that have them or talk about them at least. So with guns, though, I know from hanging out at the gun shop for so long that at least in Tucson we have what do you call it, like feast and famine for gunsmiths. So sometimes you can get anything done anywhere, anytime. With you have options of good gunsmiths. Maybe drive out of town to one of the smaller towns around. But there's lots of stuff. And then other times it's been, somebody will come in and say, can I get this fairly common, some scope mounts drilled or something threaded? And it's like, yeah, you got to wait. Like we only have the one gunsmith and every gun shop in town is using them. Is it like that with motorcycle stuff where like there'll be a bunch of mechanics and then everybody quits being, or everybody moves or something and then it's tough?
I would guess it would be. I mean, you can only stock so. Okay, so Chad's saying he stocks enough to rebuild most Yamaha YZ motocross bikes, and then all the Razor and Ranger people that play and work with them. So, yeah. So I guess it comes down like he's probably saying, buy something that everybody else is buying, and then the parts are going to be available.
That's a good point. Yeah. Well, that's why I got the fleet vehicle. I had the cop car. I had great luck with being able to break down pretty much anywhere. Even with the cop car version, I've always got the taxi. Most of the time, I can put a taxi version in, the regular version in.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty. At least it's actually probably tougher now with the cop car because not that I think Ford quit making that, so there's not going. It's not as many. But if you have whatever the current fleet vehicle is, you got parts pretty much anywhere.
Yeah. Oh. Well, we're coming up on almost 2 hours. We'll probably just shut it down around 2 hours. So, G-Webs, have you pretty much been in Arizona your whole life then?
No. I grew up in different places, and then I had people out here. So I came out here to visit, and I was like, okay, it's pretty cool. And I came to school out here, and then ended up, how it is. Well, I guess that's how it is for everybody, but for me at least, it was, oh, well, this works. And when I bounced out of here for different things and had jobs where it took me away, I was always thought of it as like, well, it's a good place to be from, when I'm out doing stuff, and then eventually just stayed here, I guess. And, you get enough friends and people around that ripping up all those roots isn't, unless I had a need to. I never had a job or a family that pulled me away from it, so I ended up just staying here.
Yeah.
But I like to travel too, so for a number of years there, I was out on the road for as much as I could be. Hoping to do that again, really. So I kind of think of it as a temporary place, even though it's been decades now, I guess, technically.
Yeah.
Be careful, kids. Time goes by quick. I don't think there's any kids listening to this, but it does go by quick sometimes when you look back. How long have you been in Ohio the whole time?
I've lived in Ohio my whole life. Born here. Cincinnati's the furthest I ever moved away, so I was close to Kentucky, but I like to travel too, though. I mean, I that's one thing. It's been really fun with this YouTube thing. It's just going to I probably never would have went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and but YouTube took me to Tulsa, Oklahoma, so it's pretty cool, My dad was a big traveler. My dad loved traveling, so when I was growing up, he took me all over the United States. In 1987, we did this huge trip all out west. So we went like south into New Mexico, ended up in Arizona, ended up in Nevada, up into Wyoming and all that. So
with like a camper or hotels?
Yeah, we had a camper.
Right on.
And my dad was like that his whole life. My dad would just like in the summers between school, he would hitchhike back then. I mean, you could do that kind of stuff and not have anything to worry about. And he would travel all over the place. And
very cool.
Yeah. So
I remember hearing my parents talk about they would throw the kids on trains and send them somewhere. Like, you're going to your aunt so-and-so's, or like some friend from our college, like you're going to, or it's not college, I guess, but some friend from we knew, or maybe, whatever, how old people know each other. And then, we're just going to send you off for whatever reason. There's probably some reason the parents needed the kids away, but yeah, that was. So then, that was like summer, or is that after school?
Yeah, we would always do it in the summers.
Yeah, that's what we did
Yeah.
too. What
Yeah.
kind of camper did you have?
We started out with an 18-foot Terry Resort. I think it was. I think I
That's
was
like that goes behind a car on a hitch type of camper.
Yeah. So when
Yeah.
I remember like going on our big I mean like when I was real little, I think we had like pop-ups and stuff like that. But when I was old enough to like remember what we had, I always remember it was a Terry. That was the company that made it, and the trailer
Okay.
was called a Resort. And we started out with an 18-footer, and then because I have two sisters, so as we got older, we ended up going up to a 24-foot. And but we'd spend a lot of time on the road in the summertime. My dad liked to drive and liked to get out of Ohio, and so he took me a lot of places growing up.
Right on. Yeah, we had I think something like that. I'm looking at a picture of it now. Yours had two doors. We would have had something like that with maybe one door, I think, if I remember right.
I think ours
But you
only
had-
had the one door.
Okay, because there's a couple of different pictures. But simple and similar, where the propane tanks are up front and it goes behind the
Yep.
the bumper of a car.
Yep.
And then
Exactly.
Then we went to a kind where it's like a van with a camper crammed on the back instead of an ambulance.
Okay.
And then that was way too small, but so it was a weird dynamic. My grandpa would go booking and go camping by himself, and then he didn't like having to drag the whole giant camper when he went by himself. So he wanted a small one all the time, and then everybody else is like, we don't want to go in a tiny small one when we all go together. That's crazy. So then they went to the kind where you drive it. I don't know what that's called. Where you get in it and the whole camper moves, like in
Yeah, like motorhome.
yeah, motorhome.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's so we did there. They did that all the time, and I would go on those trips a lot. So yeah, it's very similar. Except we would go east for whatever reason. I never came out west. That's one of the reasons I probably stayed out here. It's because we never came out here. I went to like every Civil War battlefield. Seemed like all back east, and I don't remember most of it because most of it you just see green tunnels, through the trees, the roads at least.
Yeah, I was kind of that west trip. Like I said, we did that in '87, and that was just super cool because normally we were always going somewhere on the East Coast. We'd go to like Virginia Beach, Myrtle Beach, Daytona Beach. So like I've seen the whole East Coast.
And it's always so crowded out east. At least for me, that's why I always think of it as being so crowded. Like every time, maybe it's because we always went to places that were crowded at vacation time, but it always seems so crowded.
Yeah. Now as I've gotten older, I just prefer to go west. I like it out there. It's just the mountains and everything. It's just pretty. It's just pretty stuff to go see. I like the desert too. I think the desert's cool. So, but, Crazy Gearhead said he's been in 45 states, going to get up to 48 this summer. That's pretty awesome.
That's very cool. The two are really tough to get to unless you got money or you're in the Navy or something.
Yeah.
But I don't think I haven't counted in a while. I haven't added many because, like you say, when I was little, we used to go in a trailer. So I've probably been to a lot of them technically. I just don't remember them all.
Yeah, I've never been any further west than Nevada. I still have never been to Cali yet.
Oh, really? Have you? Did you guys have one of them outlines of the states and you'd put a sticker on there or some kind of spoon collection or something for all the states you were at?
I'm trying to I think back then it was like refrigerator magnets. Every state we'd go to, my
I
dad would
remember
grab
those.
one.
Yeah, and you could have that in the camper or bring it into the house and have it on your.
Bring it into the house
Exactly.
after. Yeah.
No, I think I remember having the refrigerator magnets too.
Yeah.
So I probably could have counted something like that, or like look at some old picture that has that picture, right?
And it's funny, I do that now. Like when I went to Wanamaker, when I drove, I was like, okay, I've been in Indiana many times because it's right next door. But then I'm like, I've never been in Illinois, I've never been in Missouri, and I've never been in Oklahoma. So I guess that part of my childhood kind of leached into that. So I would go into these gas stations and look for magnets from each state as I was traveling across from them and grab them to bring home. Now they're on my gun safe. So
I wish it wasn't so much to do patches because I thought about doing that with patches before.
yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
It cost a fortune though.
Yeah.
You know, it costs a lot because even the big patch places don't do it. You know, the places that have their own patches or facilities and stuff, they don't even do it.
Yeah. Yeah, when Jason and I were heading across over to Tulsa and coming back, it was like super easy to get the magnets, but like you didn't really see anything else. I mean, there was t-shirts and things like that, hats, but never saw patches or I don't know. So I guess the magnets are still pretty popular because they pretty much were at every gas station.
Either they're popular or no one ever bought them and they're the same ones.
Yeah, that's probably true too. I never even thought of that. Probably been sitting there for like 15 years, you know. Oh, look at this sucker. He bought one. This crazy guy from Ohio. Yeah. Yeah, Gabriel, PVC patches are definitely popular. But I still like I just like
Oh, I
the old
forgot I can
embroidered
stream
ones.
it. I'm going to stream the last 5 minutes. I forgot I can stream these when I join them. Sorry about that.
Yeah, Rob. Yeah, Gary had it going on his chat too. Well, G-Webs, we are coming up. Oh, you just started streaming too. Sorry.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Turned it on right away. No, that's one of the coolest things about this. That'll definitely start people sharing audiences and being aware of people. And
yeah, I'm going to start doing it with everybody that I go on. So,
you know what that'll be good for is when something's important, like somebody needs to get the word out about something important. Something needs to be signed or whatever. This would be a neat tool.
Yeah, like I was thinking about, it is funny you brought that up because I was actually thinking about that today when I was at work. I was like, I remember like when G23 was covering all that stuff going on in Washington. I'm like, we could have all streamed that for them across our channels. So, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a nice tool, I think. So, there's Jacob. He must be one of your subscribers.
Oh, because we got the little thingy. I see.
Good to see you, Jacob. Oh, there's Chicago Mike. What is going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, Chris? G-Webs, how y'all doing?
We're doing good.
Good. Fair to Midland.
If you guys want to go for a few more minutes, I got to walk away just for a minute or two. Can you guys chat while I'm gone?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. We can do that.
Some emails.
G-Webs, what's going on, brother?
No, not too much. Like I say, just was sitting here eating, and then I was like, "Oh, he's got a link to join in." And then I've been sitting here. I don't know how long.
Yeah, I went back on YouTube. I was just like, "Oh, he's still alive." So I was like, "Oh, let me go ahead and just join in for a bit." Doesn't hurt to join in, you know. Say hi to the old guys. I'm joking.
Yeah, can't get mad about where you are on the timeline. It's just a way we're set down on here.
Yeah.
So since we're chatting, you haven't been to Lou Malnati's before?
I have not.
Okay. I don't know how big a chain it is, but I know last time I was in that area, I looked and there was like at least a couple. So they have some that are like you order it and you know, they take like 45 minutes or whatever, but you order it and then you just walk into a counter and pick it up and take it home. And then some of them are real restaurants. And I don't know which one's which. I just put it into whatever Google map and said, okay, take me to the closest one. And we went, and it turned out to be the kind like that where you pick it up at a counter.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, equally delicious. It's definitely a little bit of a style of their own. There's crust is a little bit like kind of crakery, buttery, cakey to their own way, but like a lot like Uno's or something.
Yeah, I haven't been there yet, but I will go. Like I would say, sometime when the weather gets a little warmer. I mean, like it is today, but it's gonna be cold tomorrow. I'm going to a practical rifle match tomorrow morning, so I gotta get myself warmed up.
Oh yeah, where's that at?
It's at a World Sportsman Club. It's got it's a 600. I think it's 1,000-yard range. Is the furthest. It's about a hour and 20-minute drive from Chicago. like west.
I know where it is, but I never been to it. I should have gone to it last time. It was actually kind of tough. The last time I was there, I went into Indiana and it wasn't really on the way. But if I ever get up there again to fart around, I'm gonna go by it.
Mm-hmm. It's a gun range out in Indiana too. That shoots out to I think 700 yards. It's a free range. You ain't got to pay for nothing. You ain't got to.
Oh,
You
really?
ain't got to be a. Yeah, you ain't got to be a member. But the one out in the Royal Sportsman Club is like the scenery and everything is a lot better. But of course, you'll have to be a member, or you could go with somebody that is a member to shoot at that range. Because I have a bolt action rifle that I haven't done an unboxing yet, and I had to do a review on that and get a good scope for it, and then I could just take it out to the range and just do some videos with it, just for somebody to see.
Sorry about that. I had to. My son's car's in the shop right now, and I didn't know if he had to work tonight, so I was just letting him know he could take my truck to work. So
Oh, you trust him to take your truck?
he takes my old truck, not my new truck.
I was about to say. I was like, hold on, that nice truck now. He might try to burn out the tires on that one.
Yeah. Rob, I don't have any plans actually. This was my plans, was to come home and do a chat and drink a few beers. So, Ghost Tactical's out there. Good to see you, Ghost.
I went to the gun range earlier today and I saw that they have a Walther PDP rebate. You get like if you buy a PDP now through April 17th, you get a free red dot.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
What red dot are they? I wonder what red dot they're putting on it.
I don't know, but I mean, I'm thinking about getting it. I mean, I'm gonna sell it for like $200 just to have something back in my pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sell the red dot, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep, just sell the red dot. I don't really care about having red dots on pistols. It's not really.
You like shooting your irons. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
When you get to my age, when you can't see those irons anymore, that's when you're going to want the red dot.
Well, I'm gonna still be wearing glasses when I get your age, so I'm not worried about that. I've been wearing glasses since first grade, man. So my vision without my glasses is blurry blind.
500 Magnum has joined the chat. Good to see you. And Gabriel says probably an Osprey. I don't know. I've never seen anybody put an Osprey on a gun. That was just a thing I bought when I was at Wanamaker because they were there.
Yeah. Beretta just came out with another 92X Performance competition gun. It's called the 92X Performance PC. I was like, oh, PC. What does PC stand for? And then they got the XI. That thing is hard to grip when you're trying to pull the slide back.
I'm guessing that the gun you're talking about is probably the one that JJ shoots in the USPSA.
Mm-hmm.
He shoots that tricked out Beretta. They had it at the Nationals when I was down there in Talladega last year.
The XI or the 92X.
I don't remember which one it was, but they said it was a new gun that was getting ready to come out.
Okay.
It was nice. I like Beretta though. I mean,
oh yeah, but I love Berettas. Yep. I'm hoping to see them down in NRAM. I'm definitely want to do some interviews with Beretta.
I'm sure Beretta will be there.
Oh, definitely.
How many people do you think are going to be at NRA?
A good 10, 15 people, I would say. I'm only going for one day because of work. I would go all 3 days, but that's money missing out of my pocket that I'm not going to get back. I'm not sponsored to anything. So
Oh, you're talking when you said 10 to 15, were you just talking about like the YouTubers that are going to be there? Is that what you were talking
the
about?
one like the ones that we
People
know.
Yeah.
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 I mean, it's not like 30. It's not like, definitely not like 5. It's going to be, I was assuming it would be something more than a dozen, it sounds like, but
Yeah.
something right there.
Well, G Webs, I wish I would have met you at SHOT Show, but I was so mad that I didn't go. Curious to know how you look in person, man. I'm always seeing the hands and I'm hearing the voice. Got to see how the guy look in person.
Just like anybody else, I suppose.
Black Guns and Gardens is out there. That must be one of your subscribers, G Webs. I appreciate you being here. I've never seen him in my side chat. So
That's a awesome channel. I dig channels that help normalize, and he's out there in a cool way making gardening and prepping videos and like giving you. Well, I think for gardening, at least for me, it's not something I'm thinking about constantly. So having people post stuff, especially shorts and things, is good reminder because you got to do some things like, oh yeah, it is time to start thinking about getting the backyard ready. Oh, it is time to start getting whatever seasons do stuff.
hey, Rob or DJ, could you guys, one of you two, if you don't mind, could you throw a link out there to Black Guns and Gardens so I can subscribe to his channel for me? I would really appreciate it. I can't do it on the YouTube side because he is actually on G-Webs. He's coming through on G-Webs' chat. We're doing that. If you guys out in the side chat don't know, we have the option now on StreamYard. We can stream across our channels now when one show's going on. So like if I'm on Ghost Show on Tuesday night, I can stream it across my channel too now.
Well,
Say
nice.
something over on my channel, Chris.
Okay, let me run over. Let me jump over there real quick. I'll go to subscriptions here. There,
Heard you're having a match, Chicago Mike. Good luck with it, dude. Appreciate it, Chad Kelly. I got a practical rifle match tomorrow. I'm gonna be in the code.
There we go, G-Webs.
There you go.
Nice. Thank you. Okay, DJ got it out there too. All right. Black Guns and Gardens. Subscribe. Go to all. All right. Thank you very much, guys. I am now subscribed.
That made me think of shorts again. You've been doing a bunch of shorts. Have they making any money? Are they doing any good for your channel?
I haven't monetized my channel yet, G-Webs.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I need to get it done. I just haven't done it yet.
Well, me on the other hand, I'm nowhere near 1,000. I've been slacking. I've been working a lot, so I haven't.
Where are you at with channels? Or I mean, with subs?
I just made it to 300. I'm at 302 now.
So for that number of subs, you can, next time you feel like it, or if you decide to take time to do it, I don't know if I would, but like if I'm sitting in here and not having something to do, like right now I actually am doing something, but if I was in here and I was trying to not do something, or I'm trying to figure out something and I'm looking for something to do, think about going to your YouTube channel and oh wait, do you have a community tab on YouTube? I forgot if they give those to everybody or not.
See, it used to be you couldn't get one until you hit 500 subs, but somebody said they changed that.
Yeah, I don't want to assume nothing. If you've got a community tab, use it. But if you don't, then you got Twitter and you got other things. But essentially, what I was going to say is the power of the scheduled post. So if you really want to get subscribers, it's tougher when you're at a bunch of subscribers. But when you're relatively few, so that the people that find you actually impact your subscriber count on a new channel or a growing channel, then come up with something, some post. Like take a picture of whatever, anything, picture out of your phone, or when you're out and about, you see something interesting, take a picture of it, knowing you're going to do this project. So essentially just pictures of random things, you know. It doesn't have to be like a great picture of a specific thing, just some kind of random pictures, because you're essentially trolling, you're essentially casting out to see what kind of response you're going to get. So you take
Yeah.
that random picture and you go, hey, subscribe to my channel, check it out on YouTube. And then especially if the picture is like, I don't know, like a crazy hot dog, and you go, hey, do you like this hot dog or that piece of pizza? Like, you dig Chicago pizza? Let me know on my channel, subscribe. And you don't want to do that every day because that's weird and boring. But if you're sitting down in a chat like this and you can pop out 10 of those, that's 10 weeks worth of, you know, that happening. And that's all it takes sometimes, is just somebody going, oh, he asked me to sub to his channel. Okay. And in the beginning, when you're trying to get to 1,000, that's super easy. And, you know, if you really want, tag people when you're posting those kind of things, depending on the platform, because somebody bigger than you sees it 6 weeks from now, 10 weeks from now, and they click on it and they share it or something, you know, now they're, I'm not going to say it's a guaranteed success, but it's a way to lay some seeds, and, you know, if they grow or not. But anyway, we were talking about shorts, and that's easy to do with shorts. Super easy. Every time I got downtime, I'm making shorts now.
Yeah, that's very smart. Yeah, I didn't even think about that part. Yeah, because if I'm at the range, I'll just probably post some shorts like me shooting my everyday carry or shooting my rifle, or if I'm at one of the Chicago restaurants eating some food. You know, yeah.
No, we live in people are standing at there's a lot of water. The internet's a bunch of water. It used to be a lake all the time. It was just people would go to the lake and enjoy swimming around the lake, and they go, look at all the stuff I found in the lake. And people got sick of that. So now they're just standing on the side of the river and watching all the water go by, and just the way it is, right? So there is still the lake technically, but most people are standing by the river and watching the internet go by. And you can use that. So you could technically have about 100 pictures and just recycle them on a scheduled thing. And a lot of people do this. I do this with my Friday stuff when I do the Free Patch Friday posts. I don't wake up every morning and do a Free Patch Friday post. Earlier in the year, when I was in a chat like this, I just have a bunch of pictures, and I post the picture and I say Free Patch Friday, link to the store, and then schedule that for a Friday, and then the next time, and the next one, and the next one. So, you know, that kind of stuff, you can get the word out and stuff like that.
There was somebody, I want to say hi to 500 Magnum. He's joined the chat. Good to see you.
What's going on, 500?
There was somebody else I wanted to say hi to that was new, probably came in from G-Web's side. And
I think it was Chad Kelly.
No, Chad's been here. Chad's one of my, he's new. There it is. I wanted to say hi to Steve Zero out there.
What's going on, brother?
A new name for me in the side chat. So, M. Gabriel Mike said the Beretta 92X PC is a performance carry gun. So, wanted to thank DJ for throwing the link out there for Black Guns and Gardens, but DJ had to leave.
Oh, sorry.
Just seeing if, making sure we didn't miss anything else out here. Oh, here we go. Here's a question. Anyone will know how many show up for Thunder on the Prairie? Hunter Fed, I'm like 90% sure I'm going to be there.
When is that?
I think it's in June. It's in Nebraska.
Yeah, that's about a 7 hour. Wait, is that like near Omaha?
I don't know. I know nothing about Nebraska. I think it's more close. I want to say it's closer to Lincoln, maybe.
That's about a 7 hour drive for me.
Yeah, I'm flying out there if I go.
It's June 3rd and 4th of this year.
Yeah. MC said he hit 1,000 subs, but still under 2,000 view hours, 4,000 needed per year. Yeah. So that's where the shorts are going to hurt people. Like it's kind of a trade-off. Like you can really build a big subscriber count on a channel now with shorts, but then you
Okay, so sorry, I was chatting there and trying to do this email. But do you you've got the people that are just watching the internet and they're not paying attention, they're not sticking around, and you're not talking about friends, you're talking about subscribers to a YouTube channel. So anyway, you only have to have, let's say, 100 pieces of content, and then you can start recycling. You can just start setting it up to be scheduled. You know, you schedule it out for once a week, and then at the end of the year, you just schedule it out again. And some people will go, oh, I think I may have seen this before, but all those new people will have seen it for the first time.
There's another person I have not seen in the side chat before, Eagle Williams. He said he likes random. I assume he's talking about he kind of likes a mixture of shorts and content. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see if.
Now, when you go to get your 24-hour or your watch time, do a 24-hour chat. At least this is a strategy from some of the YouTube coaches that I've listened to. You schedule a chat and you do a chat for 24 hours. You go to something like StreamYard and you can tell it to show videos. You can put videos in a playlist, and then you turn on your live chat. You start playing videos and you walk away. Right? You just mute it and start living your life. And now that channel has a video going for 24 hours playing your own videos. So as soon as you have a number of videos, you can start to play them in a playlist. And if you don't have 24 hours worth, just play the playlist over again. Again, this is for accomplishing the goal. It's not for, you don't expect people to flock to that and go, oh, I'm going to take off work and watch 24 hours worth of your stuff. It's just to get the view hours. And if you get a bunch of people that show up for some amount of time, they watch a video or two, it accomplishes the thing. So that's a strategy to get closer to the 4,000 watch hours without having to actually sit down and do something like this, where we're actively creating a video for people. You're allowed to use these mechanisms like machines.
So Chad out here is saying, he was asking, really, ? Posts help a lot. Yeah, the shorts will. I mean, Chad, you could actually throw a 15-second short out there and get like 5,000-6,000 views on that thing in an hour. It definitely helps.
Exactly.
I mix them up. I mean, I do content and then I'll go on a little. Normally, when I'm at the trade shows, Chad, is when I do. It's like SHOT Show. I filmed. I couldn't even tell you how many hours of video I came home with, but during the time I was at SHOT, I had enough time to like edit shorts. So I would throw shorts up like 7-8 a day. And they were getting a lot of traction. And then I would do the content at night when I would get back to the hotel. But yeah, shorts are huge if you want to grow numbers on your channel.
I think they're also good. There's something to be said for consistency with your effort. I don't know what to call it. Like, if you're going to do something, are you better when you've thought about it, when you've done it once or twice, or when you've done it every single day for like 2 months? You know, I think it's that idea of, do you do one thing really well, or try to do one thing really well? Or do you just do something every day for 30 days and then realize that you're going to get really good at doing it?
I mean, for me, I enjoy making the content. Like I like making a 10, a 9 to 11 minute long video or whatever. I kind of enjoy the art part of it. Like, doing the intro, adding the music in, trying to make, each video I put out, I try to better the last one. Shorts for me are, I would say they're probably the least thing that I enjoy, but there are people out there subscribed to my channel. That's all they want to see is the shorts. It's just like you have people who love to watch your live streams, but they don't care about your content. Or you got people that like your content and they don't care about your live streams. So
that's normal though. That's like,
yeah.
That's to be expected. People that have the time and interest to sit down for a long format thing are probably not even interested in a short format thing, and vice versa. Like they're not even seeking that. There's going to be some people that watch both, I suppose.
So for me, I try to mix it up. Like I want to give people the content. I want to give them the live stream every Wednesday night. I want to give them the shorts. And but like for me personally, when it comes to producing a video, I much more enjoy doing the content videos. I enjoy the editing process and doing that kind of stuff. But I mean, I think my favorite part, though, I mean, for me now that I've been on YouTube now for almost 2 years, I enjoy these chats, especially like one like today where you just on a whim, 45 minutes before you start the show, you're just like, I'm gonna do a chat. Because there's guys out there like, and I know I'm gonna miss people, but like MC out there, M. Gabriel, I'm just looking at names that I'm just seeing here at the bottom. Rob's out there, Foss. To me, they're like friends and family to me. So I enjoy the time I get to spend with them on the live streams, talking with them. So I think for me now, it's different. Like now I enjoy the live chats more than I enjoy anything that I'm doing on YouTube, just because I like I like to be able to engage everybody and answer questions and ask people questions on the panel. And what do you think, Gary? What I mean, and thanks for coming back, but like, what's your favorite part
of shorts? Or
no, like, well, we were talking about, okay, like, would you rather make a content video, or do you enjoy making the shorts more? Or like for me now, it's like I enjoy the live streaming more now because I like having the community, you know, like the family friend thing, like talking with everybody.
Yeah, the long form static videos are definitely the most difficult part of the whole thing, because there's the video editing, the production and stuff, you know, try to get everything right. Setting up cameras in a remote location, especially if you're outdoors and stuff, and then getting the sound right too is difficult. Live streams, on the other hand, once you get all your equipment in place and you've got decent lighting, it pretty much takes care of itself. And those are more fun in that you get to have conversations with people at the same time, but you kind of have back and forth with your static content too, because people will go in and leave comments, ask questions, and a lot of times they're learning and you can help them out. Where do I find this? Well, what kind of, what do you like about this and stuff? And you can have back and forth there. Shorts are, on the other hand, is just real easy to do, but not a whole lot of interaction there. That's kind of like candy at the counter when you're going into the restaurant. Yeah, you might have a piece or two, but that's not really what you came in there for. But it does sometimes, it kind of brings people into the gate. It's a way to attract people to your channel. If they see the kind of stuff you have, they might subscribe, and that'll get them possibly watching your other content. And I think that's part of the purpose of shorts. So they all three definitely have their strong points and their weak points. Live streams are great for watch time. If you don't have as much watch time as you need, those will definitely help. And your longtime subscribers like those. However, you're going to gain more, in the way of new subscribers from shorts and from static content. So they all have their place.
Real quick, I want to say hi to Jacob Cochran. He's one of either G-Web's subscribers or yours, Gary, and I want to thank him for subscribing to the channel. And I also want to thank AAF for stopping by. Always good to have you out there.
I ain't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, he's still doing the ammo videos and stuff. Okay. Here's a good question. We can all answer this, I'm sure. Worthwhile Fun is out there. And I know her from G-Web's chat. And I think yours too, Gary. What is the max length of shorts? So G-Web's just threw it out there. It's 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to use preloaded, like the music that's available on YouTube, can you use that for the whole 1 minute or only the 15-second shorts?
It used to be. Well, I think they've changed it recently where you can go longer than 15 seconds.
I didn't even know that was a thing, but I guess that makes sense.
Really?
Well, I know
would
when
rather
I- Oh, go ahead, Mike.
I was gonna say, like, I would rather just use a regular beat for somebody to hear instead of just playing the same music that everybody else listen to. Really, just to, I guess that'll help in my end, and then just get my views up that way. I guess. I don't know. I'm still new to the YouTube thing, so I mean,
Well, what I was saying about shorts was originally, like when you would
Right.
produce a short, so like once you had the video and then you went to put music to it, like
right,
I don't care, pick a song, like okay, Jay-Z, let's just say you were going to use a Jay-Z song, you could only use 15 seconds of that song, so that would cut that video to 15 seconds. So it was something you had to be mindful of, like during the editing process, was okay, I can only make this video 15 seconds long if I'm going to use a song. Now, like for me, I can make a 1 minute short and then I can use like one of my subscription services that I get my music from, like Epidemic or Audio, one of those. And then I can go all the way up to a minute on a short then. I guess you could do the same thing with the YouTube library too. I mean, there's free music available through YouTube.
And there's a YouTube creator music now where if you sign up for that, then you can actually purchase the rights for like $1 or $2 to use a song in a short and stuff like that too.
Oh, is that what that is? Now, when you buy that, is that forever
I
or
thought-
for that one short?
Depends
Oh,
on
that's-
the terms of the particular song. Some of them are like a 1-year license. You can use them for long-term videos too. Depending,
Every
again,
time-
they have different things you can do with those, but it's kind of interesting, and they give you like $10 credit when you sign up for that too.
Yeah.
But
That's a
I've
good deal.
never used it. But just to go back on the previous question, I was told that on shorts that the best way to gain views on shorts was to choose something that is more along the lines of popular music, because a lot of the young people enjoy, having the popular tunes playing while they're watching, because it doesn't necessarily have to match videos. So
right.
Yeah.
I don't know how true that is or not. I've got shorts with 28 views. I've got shorts with 10,000 views. So I'm not real sure how all that works. But
Just whatever comes to mind, right?
yeah.
I was
I
going to
mean, you've got
address.
somebody that's on a shorts feed on their phone, especially these young people. They're basically swiping from one video to another. A short comes up and they're deciding the first 2 or 3 seconds, do I want to watch this or do I want to just swipe it off my screen and watch something else? That's why you want to try to get their attention right away in a short so they'll stay and watch it. That's how you get your views. And so it's kind of a different thing. You kind of got to restructure everything you do and make it snappy and, and try to get to your point as soon as you can. But it's fun too. It's fun to see what you can do to try to get views. But it's a whole nother animal.
Yeah, it is fun to throw a short up and just sit there and watch it. Like you could sit there in YouTube Studio and you're like, okay, it's got 100 views, and then you go to refresh, and then now it's got 200 views, and it's like you can watch that thing go viral in real
Yeah,
time.
I've done that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to watch. So, M. Gabriel said he has seen where shorts, the music drops out partway through, and that's what I was getting at. M. Gabriel is like a lot of those songs that are there, you can only use it for 15 seconds. So if you got a 30-second short, the last 15 seconds will not have any music.
So can I say a couple of things? You guys hit a bunch of stuff. I'm biting my tongue not to interrupt.
Oh, yeah, go ahead,
But
you went.
but there's lots of elements to it. So I didn't even know about the 15 seconds, so thanks for that. I would say just don't do 60-second ones. You're not trying to tell a story. You're just trying most of the time to have like a billboard. So think of shorts like at least 3 different ways, right? There's maybe 4 if you count like what you want to do or what you should do. Then there's what works for people that are watching shorts, and then it's what works for YouTube. So when you're talking about the music, like Dizzard said, YouTube kind of cares. It's more like the massive amount of users are going to be searching for a piece of music because it's trendy. And on shorts, they're not saying, hey, let me see this person. They're saying, what's next? What's next? The only thing you can really do in a shorts feed is say, send me more of this music. And if they like a piece of music because it's trendy, they want to see all the dances. They want to see all the creative ways people are using this piece of trendy music. Do you want to be in that swipe list, or do you want to be over here playing your cool 70s music? So there's the part of shorts where you're using it as a mechanism, then use it as a mechanism. So if you're, it's like fishing or something. If you want to actually produce fish, then, get a net, dynamite. There's ways to cheat. But if you really want to get fish, you got to get out there and fish like a professional. Like you got to not have as much fun. You got to think about it real clinically. You got to be changing bait all the time. And you got to be, even if you're catching fish, you're thinking about moving to a place in the lake where there might be bigger fish, right? But if you're just going out there to have fun, that's awesome. So if you're going out there to put shorts up to have fun with your friends and stuff, then do your thing and be creative and have fun. And I want to address with that for Chris. I wanted to say earlier, have we talked about the idea that you can go to a long video that you've already made and pull a short from it?
Yeah, you can do that.
If you don't like making shorts and you've already got content like this, or like a content that you created that you put a lot of time into and you're frustrated that it's not getting enough views, go make a short from it. You have to do it from a phone, but you just go to the video, say create a short or something, and then create a 60-second or whatever short from it. And there's nothing stopping you from scheduling. If you got a video that you put time into, you can schedule a short every Wednesday from now till December that says, something about your short or your video, your long-term video. And that will get more views to your video. And there's nothing wrong with doing that, right? Like that's just investing in something that you put time into. But there's other strategies. You could do it Wednesday this week, Thursday next week, Friday the next week, like play around with that stuff. There's ways to have fun. Like you're saying, like when you see your analytics, you can do that long term. So think of these shorts as a strategic tool. Now you think of them as how YouTube works, how you're going to interact with your friends and stuff, and then how, so the mechanisms of YouTube, like they like to see certain, like Instagram likes to see you using Reels 4 times a day or more. So if you've got to put 4 Reels out for Instagram to engage your channel, then that gives you time to do ones for your friends and ones for the system and ones for the future, like for use. So if you want to get into shorts and stuff, you can do it with some strategy, and you don't have to do one or the other. I guess that's my big thing. Like they're going to do different things for your channel. And to do that, you have to use them differently. And you don't have to, but yeah, you can really, there's a lot of power to those shorts is all I'm saying. Like if you're not paying attention to shorts right now in 2023, I'm telling you, this is a time when you can do a lot with your channel. Just think about it think about where you want to go and then how to effectively use shorts for that, because they can be used in different ways. Maybe that's the way to summarize what I'm trying to get across. Don't dismiss them because some people are using them in one way, because there's lots of ways to use them.
I kind of wanted to thanks for all that, G-Webs. That was a lot of great info.
It was.
And I wanted to say something to Chad Kelly out there, because Chad was talking about trying to mix up the shorts. So a lot of times, Chad, what I do if I'm at the range making content, I've got my phone there and I've got my tripods there. So I'll take my phone and flip it vertical. So you're shooting 9x16 instead of 16x9. And just hit record, whether you're just pointing your gun at a target and firing a few rounds. It's not that hard to do it, because you've already got everything there. Your camera equipment's there, your tripods are there. and that's what I do. And then you can either just upload them right off your phone, or for me, I bring them home and run them through the same editing software that I'm using for all my other stuff. But that just kind of a quick tip for you. You're already there. You're already at the range. And it's all you got to do is flip your phone, vertical, and throw you out a few shorts, because Gary can tell you, I mean, they will grow your channel. I mean, I was hammering subscribers when I was at SHOT Show, just putting those shorts up. I mean, people were just one subscriber after another.
Now, some people will record their videos in a higher resolution, so then they can take that original video and chop a short out of that too, which is another way of doing it. You can actually edit a YouTube video into a short.
Yep.
But it helps to have good enough resolution to where that'll work. But there's different ways and StreamYard has a feature now too, where you can take one of your live chats and you can make a short out of that too.
Yeah, you know who that's been working really good for is Eagle Run. Eagle Run 23, one of the channels I'm subscribed to. He just hit 10,000 subs like 3 weeks ago. And yesterday I was on his chat, or on his channel, watching one of his new content videos. He's over 15,000 now. So he got 5,000 subscribers in 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. But he started doing that on that StreamYard. Because he's interviewed a lot of like big companies, especially because he's famous for like the 8.6 blackout. He was the first person to build a 8.6 blackout gun on YouTube and stuff. So he was interviewing guys that are making the ammo for it and guys that are making parts for it. He started chopping up his StreamYard into shorts, and 3 weeks, 5,000 subscribers.
So right there, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
it's an idea of like just taking something you've already got, spending some time while you're waiting in line somewhere, or you're waiting in traffic, or you're bored, and just click, put some music behind it. When I was doing it, I mean, if you look at some of my shorts, they make no sense, because I was in a chat, I think, and I didn't even have the volume on. I would just go to my old video, grab a piece of it, put a piece of music on it, and then say, "What do you think?" or like some question, and then schedule it for some time in the future, and just see, like, it was almost like just shooting randomly and see what would happen. But if you did that for real, if you did that with intent, and actually pick the pieces that are good.
Yeah, some of them streams, it'd be a long time having to go back through and picking out the 15 seconds or whatever of.
You want to cheat?
Yeah.
Go to the little buttons, click on view transcript, copy, paste. Now you have it all written down.
Okay. That's a good idea. Anne-Marie is back in the chat. I want to say hi to her. And I don't know if I said hi to Foss. But Foss has been out there for a while. I want to say hi to him. And let's see. I think that was everybody. David Walcott has a gun question. Does anyone use blue Loctite for their muzzle device? I do not. I have never put blue Loctite on comps, or I guess you probably could. I just don't.
I've heard of people doing it. I never have.
Yeah, I just, like, on my ARs, I've never had an issue with. I just use my crush washers. Most of my handguns now, I'm using like an O-ring and a washer. Yeah, Tommy Boy's out there. He said no, will not work too well as it heats up. Yeah, I've never had to do it. But yeah, I guess Tommy's pretty knowledgeable when it comes to the gun stuff. So I would take what he says and roll with it, because I've never done it, because I've never really needed to. So.
What gun is it? Not every muzzle has to be super tight.
No. Well, and the thing is, blue Loctite. I mean, I use it on all my screws when I mount my red dots to my guns, and when I go to if a new red dot comes in for me to review, I just take a little heat gun and just hit it for a few seconds, and man, that blue Loctite loosens up so quick. So yeah, on a barrel, it's going to get super hot.
I know that TX22 I have. When I first got it, I noticed that the thread protector that goes on the end of that barrel would tend to work itself loose if you
Yeah.
weren't careful. You had to really torque it down.
They do that on all my guns. All my guns that have threaded barrels. It's just I've just kind of learned to check them, now.
Well, we can't have threaded barrels in Illinois anymore, which
That
is
is
which
true.
is a sad part. But I mean, everything supposed to happen in May, so the final decision is gonna come to the Supreme Court in May. So trying to get everything back reinstated. Hopefully it does.
Oh.
Do you have the comp on yours, Chris?
On my TX22?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got the tandem cross one, and it'll actually come with a washer and an O-ring.
Yeah, that's the one I'd want to get. You have the square one or the round one?
I bought the square one because I have because you bought the competition slide for yours, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the square one actually will match your barrel perfect, or your slide, sorry.
Yeah.
It just kind of streamlines it. It makes it look really good. I do have their round one too, but it's for 9mm.
Man, when I was at SHOT Show and I went by the Tandem Cross booth and saw the full kit, I'm like, man, I wish I could afford that because that all looks pretty good put together.
Yeah, I've got the whole kit on mine. I love the little charging ring on the back. I bought the squared one, not the round one. And it just clicks right into your back plate. So you just take your back plate off and put the charging handle in. And it's even got a little hole in the back of your charging handle that you can put your punch in there when you need to break it down to service the striker block and everything on it. So, I love my TX22. Such an awesome gun.
That's what she said. What you just did with your hands, Chris?
No, the TX22s are a ton of fun at the range, man.
I haven't shot one yet. I've seen some in a couple of gun stores, but they're all sold out. I was like, wow, there must be a good gun to shoot with.
Oh, they are. Real reliable.
I wasn't really a fan of 22. Yeah.
The nice thing about it is the dimension wise, they're basically the same dimensions as a full size pistol.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're wanting to work on your trigger discipline, and stuff like that, you're not holding a typical 22 pistol. You're holding something that, other than weight wise and recoil, is going to feel just like a regular pistol. That's a great thing about it for me.
Well, guys, when G-Webs gets back, we probably better wind this one down. We're almost going 3 hours, and I want to go spend some time with the family.
I'm still putting their collars and stuff on, so I'm still sitting.
Oh, okay. Take your time, G-Webs. We're fine.
I'll be
sorry.
gone. I'll be gone. Go ahead and shut it down. I'm just saying I'll be gone for a bit.
Okay. Hey, G-Webs, are you having a show at midnight tonight?
Yep.
Okay.
Midnight Eastern.
I'll plug you before we walk out then. So
Chris,
thanks for being here, G-Webs. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, G-Webs. Thank you for all
You bet. Thanks for hosting. Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for
thank you for all the information that you gave out, about the shorts and trying to grow the channel and everything. Appreciate it, brother.
You bet. Just keep sharing with everybody so we know, so that people that know.
Walter Bunning came back. He was in earlier. Black Cat is out. Black Cat, enjoy your weekend, brother. Glad you stopped by. David Walcott says, these are all new to me. There's nuts and washers for months. So, yeah, I mean, on all your AR-15s, AR-10s, you're going to have a crush washer for your flash hiders, muzzle brakes, whatever you decide to put on there. A lot of your pistols now, when it comes to comps, they will come with an O-ring and a washer.
Just be careful. Just be careful. Like when you're cleaning your gun or taking off your comp, whatever. Like, make sure you do not lose that washer.
Yeah.
'Cause, I
A
mean,
lot of
they're
times,
so thin and small, you can easily lose them.
yeah, a lot of times they're for shimming, so they're literally there to create to take up for the, I don't want to say it's just the differences in machining or whatever. They don't know what kind of brake you're going to put on there, so there's no possible way they can match. So they can put a face on the front of your barrel and they can put the threads there, but the brake manufacturer doesn't know what barrel it's going to go on either. So there's just no way to mate those things perfectly unless they're literally made for each other. So a lot of times they're just there to either take up space or to tune it. So if that thing's supposed to be directed up or left or right or something because of the way the holes are, if it's not, going around the circle, if it's indexed at like the 9 o'clock and it's supposed to be at 8 o'clock or something, or it's just a little bit askew, they'll put a different thickness of washer in there and that'll tune it or time it. So sometimes they're there to fill a gap, and then sometimes they're there to tune it. So
There's the word that G-Webs and I were looking for. Moo, thank you. Indexing. Yes. And then, or we could say it was for timing, like Marin said. Yeah. It's like I've got that Strike 80 comp or the Strike Micro comp, and it will, like on my Walther PDP Pro, it will tighten up perfect, like aligned right where it needs to be. But then on my Taurus G3 Tactical, it's way off. So, but the Micro Comp actually has a Torx head that you tighten down to, you get it lined up right where you want it, and then it's got a Torx bit or Torx bolt that you tighten down to 40 inch-pounds, and it'll lock it right where you need it. So they're all different, David, depending on what you buy. So let's see. Tommy
Well,
Boy
Chris,
said he likes jam nuts because it will not affect the barrel threads like crush washer will do. I've seen people twist the end of the barrel right off with a crush washer. Yeah, I can see that too. So. What'd you say, Mike? You got to go, buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get out of here. I gotta go too. So I originally planned this to be 1 hour, and it turned into 3. But I've been having so much fun with everybody, I didn't want to shut it down. But
hey, it's your show, man. Be on as long as you like.
You got anything you want to plug, Mike, before you get out of here?
Just want to say thanks to everybody who've been, in the side chat, listening to, all the different stories and all the good advice from G-Webs and all the. Thank you, Chris, for hosting. Thank you, Giza Gary, for coming back on, and
you bet.
Thank you to all who've been subscribed to my channel, who have been supporting me. Let's see. Just stay to yourself, stay strapped, or get clapped. So that's all I can say. Salute to G-Webs, the legend. And Chris, stay young.
I'm trying, buddy. I'm really trying. I appreciate you coming on, Mike.
Wizard.
We'll see you at NRAM in a few weeks, man.
Oh, yeah. I'll definitely be there.
All right.
But all right. Peace, everybody.
Have a good one, Mike.
All right.
Gary,
Got
anything you want to plug? I know you got your show tonight. Make sure you get that in there.
Yeah, Foul Territory tonight. That'll be at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. Love to have everybody there. And sorry I had to jump out there for a while. My landlord unexpectedly decided to change out the locks on the apartments today. So so I had to be with him for a few minutes, keep the cat from escaping while he did that. But anyway, thanks for having me on. It's always fun when you do these impromptu chats. Have a lot of fun just sitting here and seeing who all's out there and got time to discuss. So good chat, and we'll see you this evening.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, Gary. I
You bet.
always appreciate you being on. Always enjoy our chats, and can't wait to see you here at NRAM. So,
Yeah.
and I will see you tonight at 10 o'clock. I will, if I'm not on the panel, I will definitely be in the side chat. So,
Sweet.
all right. Well, thanks again, Gary.
bet.
G Webs, are you back? Or I know
Yep.
you. Okay, he's back.
Just got back.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks again for hosting. It's cool to have something to listen to. I was working on some emails and then a project over here.
All right. And you'll have your show at midnight Eastern, correct?
Yeah, everybody's welcome. If you're awake, we'll go over on Fridays. We go over what everybody else did this week to feature, what was focused on the second.
Okay, awesome. If I'm still awake, I will be there. I'll be out in the side chat listening in. So, okay. So here's the rundown for everybody tonight. 8 o'clock Eastern. Do not forget, Georgia Shooting Connection will be the first live chat at 8 Eastern. Gizzard Gary will be on right directly after Georgia Shooting Connection shuts down at 10 Eastern. And as soon as Gary is done, G-Webs will be going live at midnight Eastern. So make sure everybody gets over there and checks out their chats, gives them a thumbs up, throws a comment out in the side chat. It helps everybody out. I want to thank everybody that jumped in on the side chat today. This was a lot of fun. I had no idea I was going to go 3 hours, but you guys made it fun, and I wanted to stay here and keep going, but I do have to walk away for a little bit. So I don't know if I'm going to be on the Georgia Shooting Connection at 8 tonight, but if I'm not, I will be in the side chat. And thanks again, everybody out in the side chat. Enjoy your St. Patrick's Day. Enjoy the weekend. And I will be back here Wednesday night at 9 Eastern for our regularly scheduled Wednesday night live chat. So, and I want to thank all the new subscribers that came over from Gary's channel and G-Web's channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. And hopefully we'll see you back the next time I decide to do one of these Just Because chats. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye.